The Jason Gregor Show.
Blue shirt threw it toward the net. And lingering in front, I believe that's going to be Jeff Skinner, who will pick up his 15th of the year.
On Sports 1440.
McKinnon force on timer. Taylor McCarr from right below the dot rips home the one-timer, and the Avs have taken a 5-3 lead. McCarr.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Inside snakes, feet, wings, side. Oxpodjemski is three.
You tell me saying good? Bojinski now up to 28. It's a reach free.
A lovely positive Friday. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. And hope you're having a great day. Hey, we got some news for you, man. No better place to be than Play Alberta. Sports, lotteries, casino. The new app, you can bet on sports, spin the slots, do it all in one stop. And right now, if you want, you can make a deposit using the promo code Gregor100. And that'll get you a $100 casino bonus if you want to try it out. So Gregor100 for that. Of course, you want to do a free $50 play, you can do Gregor50. So two options for you. Check it out at playalberta.ca. It's quite nice. It's awesome. Okay, so we'll get to that. We talk a lot about the Edmonton Oilers. They got a win, but another loss when it comes to injuries on Lauriane Draisaitl. We're going to get to the Oilers are skating as we speak, just getting ready to get off the ice. We'll get an update from Chris Knobloch on that. But I think it's fairly clear that probably not going to have Lauriane Draisaitl in the lineup. But look who's in. One comes out. One comes in. And Trent Frederick. He was skating today on a line with Henrique and Hyman. And the Oilers, looks like they'll have him in. So it's obviously a big loss for Lauriane Draisaitl, make no mistake about it. We'll get an update. You know, he's probably going to be out for a little bit of time. Do I think it's going to keep him out till the playoffs? You sure hope not. I would like to think it won't. Connor McDavid skated again. He's not going to play on this road trip, but you know what? He's going to be back before the playoffs. And in a weird way, like the Edmonton Oilers, we talked about it before, and I actually think they are a better team. And when you start to crunch the numbers, look at how well the Oilers have played. The fact that they have and I'm not saying they're a better team without him, but I think any suggestion, well, the Oilers are only good because they have McDavid. They're 8-4 without McDavid in the lineup. That's a 666 points percentage. In their 63 games with them, they have a 611. Still good. Still very good. But actually slightly better with McDavid. Now, it helps when you got a guy by the name of Lauriane Draisaitl who can take over. There's no team in the league that can lose a top 3 forward and replace him with a top 3 forward. But the Oilers can. So that's an advantage. No doubt. And Lauriane Draisaitl in the 9 games without McDavid, he has 16 points. Not bad. But it's not just him. Look at the Oilers in the 12 games that McDavid hasn't played, and 3 of those Draisaitl didn't play. Evan Bouchard, 11 assists. 6 goals, 9 points each. Darnell Nurse, 8 points. Skinner, 7 points. Arvidsson, 4 goals. Henrique, 5 points. Wallman has 4 points, and he's only played 5 games in that span. Without those guys, you've had lots of guys step up. And that's what you're going to need. I know the Oilers, they've been inconsistent. They've been frustrating for you at times. I get it. But when you start to dig into what this team has played like without McDavid, and 3 of those games without Draisaitl and Ekholm, you got to be pretty excited about your team, I would think. Right? Like, I don't care, honestly, what the score was in the game last night against San Jose. The Oilers were never really in trouble in that game. Pickard had to make a big save because the Oilers can't hit an empty net. Like, it's mind-blowing to me. It's almost become somewhat of a joke in a way. Like Jeff Skinner now. He got infected. Come down. Like Jeff Skinner. This guy can have a goalie in the net, and he will have 2 inches to shoot at. Boom, glove side, he'll hit it. Skating down the left wing. Just outside the blue line, you got an empty net? No, hits a post. And then Pickard had to make a pretty big save to keep it 3-2. Right? You score that empty net or it's lights out Irene. But ultimately, it didn't matter. The Oilers win the game. They keep pace with the LA Kings, and they're gonna have to find a way. If they want home ice, I think they probably need a win or even an overtime loss, but probably a win. Because if you lose tomorrow, then you're down 4 points. With 6 games to go. If the Kings just go 3-3, the Oilers would have to go 5-1. And actually, I think they'd have to go 5-0-1 because LA has the tiebreaker. So we kind of know what's on the line for tomorrow. Obviously, no McDavid, no Draisaitl. That will make it difficult to say the least, right? But we'll see where it goes. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can get us in our UL inbox. Nick Nickson is going to join us, longtime voice of the Kings. It's actually his final season. So we'll talk a little bit about the Kings, but we might have to go down history lane with Nick. He had a sick, I loved watching his ceremony. I've known Nick for a while, so I got to watch his pregame ceremony because I have the NHL Network, so I watched. It was fantastic. And man, they were showing some great video. Nick used to have a sick stash, so I might have to talk to him about that. Jeff Marek will be by in hour number 1. Wanye Gretz is here. We got Andy Strickland, Lauriane Munzer, 2-minute warning with Tater, Craig Button, Speck, Lowetide. We got a loaded show for you. So it's fantastic. Also, we'll update you. The Jays taking on Juan Soto and the Mets today. It's the season opener for the Mets, so it's an afternoon game. What inning are we in, Con Man?
Bottom of the third.
Bottom of the third. Okay. And Jays are down early, but there's lots of time. What went through your head when you're watching because Draisaitl was we saw him fall, kind of get tripped a little bit in the first period, fell awkwardly. Then he stepped on the puck. He went to kick it and he just stepped on it, which is obviously very weird. And then you saw him battle and then he just leaves the ice. And you know what? To me, that's looking like a groin or a core muscle issue. What did you think?
That's what I thought. I saw the compilation and it was 2 or 3 incidents where it's like, this could have been it. This could have been it. You mentioned stepping on the puck. I imagine that wouldn't have felt great on the groin, stretching it out that way and going down. Yeah, I mean, that's probably what I would think. Cause I don't think it's anything, there wasn't a puck to the ankle and they didn't see any awkward takedowns, anything like that. So I think you'd probably be pretty accurate in your assessment there. One of those things. I imagine though, we'll get a pretty vague response from head coach Chris Knobloch today though. Getting closer to the playoffs.
Well, he'll give you a response about, they're not going to tell you what the injury is. That's fine. It's not the coach's job, right? I found out what McDavid's was, and so do a little digging. Haven't found anything yet, but sometimes you don't know right away. It takes a day or two, but, Draisaitl's not playing tomorrow. I wouldn't think anyway. And, might be out for a week or so. So, but that's just kind of how it goes. So, I look at it, and as long as Draisaitl is healthy for playoffs, I think that's all that matters. Ideally, would you like Edmonton to finish second? 100%. Totally agree. It's going to make the road harder. It does. It makes it harder. Now, they might not have an extra flight for round 1 because they're in San Jose for their final game of the regular season on the Wednesday. Now, depending when the playoffs start and depending on who's on the trip, they might come back either way. Because the playoffs might not start, well, at the earliest, if they're LA, they're not starting until Sunday for the Oilers. Because LA plays on Thursday, and the league's not going to make them play 2 days after. So the playoffs will likely start Sunday or even the Monday. If it's the Monday, then definitely Edmonton's coming back, I would think. And away they go. So, it is an extra flight. Game 7, historically, later in the series, Game 7 helps you a lot for home ice teams. You have an advantage. It's showing it. So You know what? What do you do? Maybe you hope that one of the wild card teams upsets somebody. That could help you later on. But otherwise, you just say, hey, teams have done it. The St. Louis Blues did in 2019. There's been other teams that have gone on the road and won it all. So we'll see. Hey, Greg, I didn't hear you talk about, is Frederic going tomorrow? Well, yes. All indications are he was in a white jersey. He wasn't in a gray non-contact. He took all the line rushes. And here's the thing. If Draisaitl isn't going tomorrow, if Trent Frederic doesn't play, they can only dress 11 forwards. They don't have any other eligible forwards. And they can't. Now, I guess they could, if Frederic isn't going, they could put him on LTIR retroactive. I guess that's an option they could use too if they needed it. But I guess that would probably be smart to use it. But they can't use the emergency recall because to use the emergency recall, you have to dress one game with 19 skaters. Then you can do it. But with Frederic's situation and him skating in a white jersey today, I think that probably ruins that. So, which is I should say ruins it. It's a good sign that they could do it. So, looking at few other texts, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Gregor, have the Oilers had home ice? Yeah, they had home ice every year against LA. And they won in 7, 1 in 6, 1 in 5. Hey, boys, was there any kind of financial bonus for Draisaitl hitting 50? Now that he's over, I thought it easier to miss a few games. No. The only players that can get performance bonuses in their contract are entry-level contract players, and those bonuses are set out. They're basically for 20 goals, 35 points, different things like that. Right? Veteran players over the age of 35 can get bonus structure contracts. Also, a guy like Connor Brown, who if you are out for, I don't even know what the number is specific, but the vast majority of a season, then you come back the next year, you can get a bonus-laden contract, but there's nothing in Draisaitl's contract that's about bonuses. Zilch, zero, none. So he's going to sit out because he's hurt. It's just that simple. Now, could they rest him in the final game of the season like they've done the last 2 years? 100%. They've done that. And that's when they were healthy. They just did it because they didn't want to risk anything and they didn't want the flights, so many different reasons. But for Draisaitl and everybody else, the vast majority of players don't have bonuses in their contract. And no bonus-laden contract would ever be for 50 goals in the NHL. Usually the veteran bonuses have to do, games played or something that's very achievable. A 50-goal bonus would be massive, but think about it. There's only one guy in the league who's going to score 50 goals this year. So it'd be great. And I understand people say, yeah, you know what? Put the incentive in them for a habit. I actually don't agree with that. I don't agree that you need to, the players, you don't make it to the pro level without being highly driven, right? You do a lot of the work happens away from the lights and the cameras and the game. That's like the fun part. It's all the work in the gym, in the kitchen, in bed, sleeping, going to bed, all those commitment pieces. Professional athletes are ultra committed to get there. Now, when they get there, they have a hard time staying there. And maybe they're not as committed as some of the other pros. Fair. But anybody who makes to the pro level is elite as an athlete and elite committed. I don't think that they need a big incentive to play harder every game. I've never really bought into that. I don't think, because at the end of the day, if it's only money that motivates you, your motivation is going to run out. It's been proven, right? They've done studies on it, so it just is. Quick break. We'll come back. Nick Nickson will join us next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Volvo Cars Edmonton invites you to their biggest sale of the year. The March showroom event is on now. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 1.99% and save $3,500. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,500. Lease or finance a 2024 XC40 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $2,500. Don't miss the March showroom event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertips. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins, multiply your prizes up to 6 times, and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the Fortune Coin symbol to win cash, trigger the jackpot, launch the free spins bonus, and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on playalberta.ca. Claim your offer today.
At Papa John's, you get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, check out the Papa Pairings menu to save. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a deal from Legacy! Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
For the next hockey game, you can have your say with the Sports 1440 postgame show. This is your host, Andrew Walker. Join us and give your takes on the game, good or bad. It's all brought to you by the Ridge Social Eatery in St. Albert. The postgame show on Sports 1440.
I take possession of my commercial space in 3 months. I need lighting. I need a fire alarm. I need data. I need a generator. I need panels.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Projects team reporting. We design, build, and construct all the electrical systems for your projects. Need everything to work right? Get the Action Electrical project team on your site.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
This is going to make you hungry. Booster Juice just dropped new guacamole and black bean grilled fresh options.
What the guac?
Yeah, a guacamole black bean wrap, guacamole chicken panini, and an egg and chipotle black bean wrap.
What a trio! Holy guacamole!
Bye-bye, boring as bread sandwiches.
Guac, yeah! New flavors, new cravings.
Avocado up to wraps and paninis from Booster Juice. Canadian-born blending since 1999. Download the Booster Rewards app and order one today.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Batshaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank. Plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Batshaw Concrete Products. 780-372-3854. BatshawConcrete.com.
New Jizz Nuggets. This is New Jizz Nuggets, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. What nugget of heating and cooling advice does Nuge have today?
You can save a lot of money by bundling your new furnace and AC with Legacy. It's kind of like saving money on an endorsement by bundling me, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, with someone like, Zachary Martin Hyman. Thanks for suggesting me, Nuge.
Get no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new AC and furnace from Legacy Heating and Cooling. Proud sponsor of New Jizz Nuggets.
Coming up this season on the Great Canadian Road Trip, drivers in their Toyotas go further than ever, facing everything the Great White North throws their way, fueled by snacks, pit stops, and questionable playlists. But before they embark on this epic journey, a friendly reminder chimes in.
It's time for expert service at your local Toyota dealer.
One easy stop for oil changes, brake checks, and tire prices that beat competitors by 5%. Book your appointment today. It's going to be a wild ride.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. If you love the taste of beer or spirits but don't want a hangover, we have a great selection of non-alcoholic beers, spirits, and wine. Stop in and try some. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. Welcome back. How are you? Gonna heat up here. That's nice. The weather is getting better. So that's always a welcome change this time of year. Hopefully we start to see a little bit more of the melt and a little bit more of the green, which could lead to hopefully you getting on the golf course sooner than you'd like. Because not sooner than you'd like, sooner than it looks like right now, because it seems like we might be a little bit of ways away. So we shall see. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And you know what? They got the new app and it's redefined. It looks awesome. And so have an opportunity for you. You get the use the code Gregor100 and you'll get a $100 casino bonus when you make a deposit at PlayAlberta.ca. Even a welcome bonus for your first-time user. Just use the promo code Gregor100. There you go. That's Gregor100. Very easy. Let's get to the playoff push now, brought to you by our Alberta GMC dealers. As Truck Month continues on at GMC, get a $5,000 cash credit purchase on a 2025 Sierra HD model. See more at gmccanada.ca. As we go out to LA, where the Oilers are taking on the Kings tomorrow afternoon. Remember, it's a 2:00 Edmonton time start tomorrow, as we're joined by the longtime voice of the LA Kings, who is in his final season. Nick Nickson joins us. Nick, my man, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Thank you. Looking forward to what should be a playoff-style game tomorrow between two teams that are battling it out for home ice in the first round. And gosh, what a surprise. First round, LA Edmonton. When was the last time we saw that?
Yeah, it's been a while. Now, Nick, we'll get to that in a second. But you have called over 3,800 games with the Kings, another 500 games in the AHL as you honed your skills like a lot of players do before you get to the show. And I have the NHL package, so I was watching your pregame ceremony. Some sick photos from the past. Pretty big stash you had there, Nick. How come? Are you bringing the stash back for the final few games or what?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll grow it for the playoffs.
Yeah, you
should. Stash.
Yeah.
Instead of the playoff beard. I don't know if you saw it, but during the telecast, they showed a picture of me from my New Haven Nighthawk days, which is the height of the disco era.
Oh, yes.
And next to it, they had Ron Burgundy. So I said to our producer, "Did I inspire Ron Burgundy? If so, where are my royalties? Come on, guys.
Let's
get on this."
It was, I did see that side by side. I got a pretty good chuckle. Well, Will's at a lot of the games. Maybe they should have had you.
Yeah.
Have you ever met Will?
I have. He came up to the booth a few years ago in character as Ron Burgundy.
Oh, my God. How fun would that be?
And they had him on the TV side, and back was maybe 5 years ago. Then after he did the TV, he came into the radio booth to say hello. But, he's a big fan. He's there probably for at least half the games during every season.
Nick, it's amazing. This is your 44th season as the voice of the Kings, both on radio. You've been on radio and television over that time. Obviously, you know what? You have the two championships in 2012 and 2014. But you know what? You were there. You look back on kind of all the great years. Was 82 the miracle? Was that your first? Were you there yet in 82?
Yeah, that was my first playoff series.
Oh my God.
I started in 81, 82.
Okay.
And it's interesting because Darrell Evans and Jim Fox were very young. I think they were both second-year pros. They were both from the 1980 draft, and they were on that Kings team. And as it's turned out, we've known each other ever since and been together pretty much the entire 44 years I've been in LA, because Jim, when he retired, did the color with Bob for years on TV and still does it. And Daryl, for the last 26 seasons, has been doing the color with me on radio, and he's our third guy on the TV crew this year. So, I hope it doesn't happen from the Kings standpoint for my sake. I hope my last playoff series is not with the Edmonton Oilers like it was my first playoff series. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, well, it should be is looking that way. Although, Kings win tomorrow. There's a chance. I know it's slim, but there's a chance if they can beat the Oilers tomorrow that then they'd be one back of Vegas. Now, now Vegas obviously that would have a game in hand, but it's not completely outside the realm of possibilities that the Kings still could catch Vegas here.
No, and you look at the remaining games, 5 of the Kings, 7 are at home, where they have the best home record in the NHL. They've been just fabulous at home and playing great defensive hockey on home ice, getting great goaltending from Darcy Kemper. So, yeah, you're right. I looked at the standings after the games last night, and I said the same thing. But home ice, I think, is going to be a key. The Kings started on the road in the past 3 playoff series with Edmonton, and, of course, the Oilers won all 3 series. But I don't know. A couple things. The way the Kings have played at home this year, I think, will help them. So that's where home ice comes in, could be critical. And I think the Kings are better suited as a playoff team with the additions they've made this year.
Well, Warren Foegele, and obviously their style of play has definitely changed, right? The players were vocal about it. They wanted the style, Nick. Now that you've had pretty much all season under it, how much is Darcy Kemper facing more chances than the goalies the previous years because of this change? And so is it you could make the change because you got the goal you like, and it's obviously worked because the Kings are, they're having a really good year. They're on pace to have more points than they had last year.
Yeah, well, Jim Miller, first full year as the head coach, came in this year at training camp and changed the way they approached the game, kind of trash bagged the 1-3-1, which a lot of people were complaining about, and probably a lot of players under the radar that we don't hear about probably didn't like that. Kind of suppresses their offense. But this year, the Kings are scoring enough, and you talk about the goaltenders facing shots. I mean, the Kings have been in the top 3 or 4 all season long in shot suppression. And early in the season, we used the stat Darcy Kemper was number 1 in slot shave percentage. So, yeah, it's everything has just fallen into place. I mean, Kemper's back in LA. You mentioned Warren Foegele, who's having a career year. I mean, he's leading the team with a plus 32, got a career high 22 goals. And he's probably been one of our top 3 most consistent forwards all season long. Playing a regular shift, killing penalties, just a tremendous pickup by general manager Rob Blake. So along with Kemper, you had Joel Edmondson on the blue line, who's been solid, paired with the young Brand Clark. Tanner Jeannot on the 4th line before he got banged up a couple of weeks ago. He was doing exactly what the Kings wanted, leading the team in hits. So a lot of it has come together, and a lot of us had doubts at the start of the season. Would this team be a playoff team? Would they be as good as they were last year? I think they had 99 points, but they're on track right now to surpass that. Tremendous home record, franchise record for home wins. And it looks like they're going to be better suited to play in the playoffs in a couple of weeks than they were in the past.
Are they better suited to shut down the Oilers' power play, Nick? Because ultimately, if I went back and looked at the 5-on-5 goals over the 3 years, identical, for and against between these two teams. But special teams was the difference. And the Kings last year had the second best penalty kill, but then still couldn't figure it out. When you talk to the Kings, what would they do different on the penalty kill? Because they're going to have to. Otherwise, it's probably going to be the same outcome if they can't slow down Edmonton's power play.
Yeah, it's interesting because last week I was just doing a little postseason prep, and I went back and looked at the 3 series with the Oilers and did the special team stats for both sides. And you're right. That was the difference pretty much in all 3 series. This year, the Kings are more aggressive. They force you to make good plays. Now, if you're healthy, if Edmonton is healthy, everybody knows with your number one power play unit, you've got so much skill out there and talent that, okay, maybe they can fight through that added pressure. But that's been a big change in the philosophy with the Kings on the penalty kill this year, and it's been good. It's been in the top third of the season of the stats all season long. But they have an aggressive approach. They pressure. Don't be surprised if an Anderson, a Gavrikov, a Doughty is out pressuring at the blue line just to make the other team, forcing the other team to make the good plays to beat you.
Nick Nickson joins us, voice of the Los Angeles Kings. And Nick, one of the big jumps here lately has been the play of Byfield and simply just him shooting the puck more, right? Like he's got a great shot. He's big body, and players all develop at different times. But are you seeing a little bit of a breakout of Byfield?
Absolutely. And you mentioned the shot. He has been shooting more. He's looking shot first more, although last night we made the comment when the Kings were not very good in the first two periods and had only, I think, 7 or 8 total shots, 3 in the first period. He had a chance on the left wing, and instead of trying to bury it, he tried to make a play, which never developed. But that has been the exception, not the norm for Byfield. To me, that is probably the single most area where he has improved from the past. He's using his skating ability. He's a powerful skater. He can blow by people, and I think he's looking for shot more. In March, I think he was among the NHL leaders in goals with, I think, 8 or 9, had some overtime goals. His game is starting to really come together from an all-around perspective. He can play physical. He's been responsible. He's killing penalties with Warren Foegele. You could make the argument that that's our best penalty killing duo. Getting power play time now, really his third full season as a King. So his game is rounding out. And last night, when the game was on the line, Jim Miller put him out there for a key faceoff in the defensive zone, won the draw for Doughty, but then put it in the empty net. So, yeah, still only 22. Hard to believe. I mean, he's been with the Kings, it seems like, for more than 5 years, and he's only 22. And he's got all this talent, the size, the shot, the desire, the hustle. He's been great on back checks, using his stick to break up plays. He's just, if he can go another 20% with his development, he is going to be a force.
Yeah, I would think so. Nick, the first 6 games didn't do much, but Andrei Kuzmenko now has 10 points in his last 9 games. He's found some success recently. What have you seen from Kuzmenko? Is it simply he got promoted up to Kopitar and now he's taken off?
Yeah, well, from game 1, when he arrived at the deadline, they put him with Kopitar and Kempe, and it took a few games because Kopitar and Kempe were kind of in a funk. But I think once they learned everybody's tendencies, and the one thing I will say recently, you talked about the numbers for Kuzmenko the last, 8 games with 10 points. He's shooting. He has a real quick release, a good shot. He had 39 goals in Vancouver a couple of years ago. I mean, we forget that. What happened to that Andrei Kuzmenko? But he's energized the power play. He's been out there on the number 1 power play unit since game 1. The power play has been at like 23, 24% with him on the roster. It had been not very good all season long, near the bottom. So 5-on-5, he's found a comfort zone with his new line mates. 2 very good players, obviously, Kopitar and Kempe, and he's re-energized the power play. It's almost like when you watch our power play now, everything is going through him. He's the guy, whether it's down low, the bumper position. So, yeah, right now it looks like that's, put him on the list with the guys I mentioned earlier, the newcomers, Foegele, Edmondson, Kemper, Jeannot, and they're all contributing in a big way and a big reason why the Kings are having a great season.
Yeah. The Kings, you need other guys to step up. And I know it's not a foregone conclusion, but it does seem everybody, it's LA and Edmonton. Nick, one last one. You've been around the league for 44 years. any reason why the Kings can be the best team in the league at home, but of all the playoff teams are the worst team on the road? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They had a weird schedule this year. The first 7 games of the season were on the road because they were renovating the building, Crypto.com Arena. Then they had another 7-game road trip before Christmas. Then they had 2 5-game trips in January. So you wonder if fatigue caught up with them, all the travel, all the road games. It was a very busy January when they had those back-to-back 5-game road trips. But, you know, that they've won some key road games lately. I think after the break or right before the break, I looked up of the final 32 games of the season for the Kings, 22 were at home, and they're winning at home. So, you know, I think they're going to be a more rested team come playoff time, but I think that road record is a bit deceiving. I think they just got worn out, and then that 2-week break in February did them a world of good.
Nick, 44 years, it's hard to wrap it up for you at all, but you know, you look back on it and just all the changes that have gone on with that Kings organization, and you know, the Stanley Cups are obviously the peak because that's what you want to, as an organization, to do, is win. But take me back to 1988 when Gretzky got traded to LA, and what was it like being part of the organization? And did you notice like a tangible change instantly once they got Gretzky?
Absolutely, and I'll go to the very first press conference he had. For those of us old enough to remember, he had that tearful departure in Edmonton early that day when the trade was announced. He got on a plane and came down to L.A., and they had a press conference in a ballroom at a hotel near the airport. And I'm not kidding you, Jason. There were at least 300 people there for that press conference. So from the moment he arrived in LA as an LA King, the what's the word I'm searching for here? The popularity of Kings hockey just exponentially went forward. And then I remember I was helping out. They only had 3 or 4 people in the ticketing department back then, because then owner Bruce McNall had just purchased the team like 2 years before. And they called me and said, Nick, we have so many people that are calling. Can you help us return the calls? People want tickets. And I said, okay, I'll come down. They gave me a stack about 6 inches high of phone messages. And I'll never forget this. This kind of puts it in perspective. I think this says it all. I called back one gentleman, and I said, hi, how are you? I'm Nick Nickson. I'm with the Kings. I understand you're interested in getting hockey tickets to watch the Kings next season. He said, yes. He says, you know what? I've never been to a hockey game in my life, but I've heard about Wayne Gretzky. I want to go. And he bought season tickets, and I'll bet you to this day he's probably still going. So it transformed not only hockey in LA, but we've all heard and watched the videos and read the stories over the years. It really kind of fueled the way to grow the game south of your border and the expansion. And now, where once when I started, we had, I think, 19 teams. The WHA had just merged 4 teams with the NHL when I started. Now we have 32, and everything's thriving.
Yeah.
I mean, the buildings are full. All these new markets are, you know, Seattle's selling out. Vegas has won a cup selling out. We were in Utah last night. You know, they're going to redo the building to get more people in it, but the crowd, the town is going gaga over the Utah Hockey Club. And it's wonderful to see. And you can go back, you know, 35, 37 years now to when Bruce McNall engineered that trade. And you could say that's a big reason why the growth started, not only with the Kings, but in the NHL.
Nick, awesome stuff as always, man. Congratulations on your final year in the NHL. What a career it's been, 44 years, and well-deserved that you got honored by the Kings organization earlier this week. It's been great talking to you. We'll see you in the playoffs.
Yeah, thank you. And stop up to the booth if we're in round 1 there at Rogers Place.
You betcha, man. I'll come see you for sure.
Okay.
Awesome.
All righty. Thank you.
There you go.
Yep.
That is Nick Nickson. Great guy. But man, what a career. 44 years. His first year was the Miracle on Manchester. Talk about an introduction. Then, of course, he was like, yeah, okay, that was good. But after that, it was just ass kicking after ass kicking for the most part for the Kings against the Oilers for a long, long time. Then came their first championship in 12 and then again in 14. And you know what? They're a good team now, but again, the Oilers have kind of been dominating them. So we'll see. You know what? LA is pretty confident that this is the year, and you have to be confident. They were confident last year that they were going to beat them. I'll say this about the Oilers. If Draisaitl and McDavid are healthy, along with Ekholm and Skinner, Frederic's looks like he's going to play tomorrow. Vander Kane, Edmonton is not going to be an easy out at all. We'll come back. Jeff Marek joins us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, check out the Papa Pairings menu to save. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
When you live in northern Alberta, you need a vehicle that is built for this climate. That's the all-new 2025 Jeep Compass, and you'll find it at St. Albert Dodge. Now, what can I say? It's a Jeep. It's a 4x4, so it's totally at home driving on snow and ice. And it's got some great standard features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, keyless entry, and heated front seats. As I said, northern Alberta. And all starting from just $34,900. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Hey, it's Andrew Walker, host of the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show, which you can check out before all the games this season. A big thank you to Cross Mitsubishi for their support. We are Sports 1440, Edmonton sports leader.
RV Wars hits the north side April 3rd to 6th. Go RV, Vision RV, and Arcan RV have joined forces for RV Wars. Take advantage of pre-tariff pricing on travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes, and more. The last of the 2024 models are being cleared out. Make no payments for 6 months OAC. Now is the time to buy with special discounted finance rates. Free admission with a donation to the food bank. RV Wars this weekend on the north side. 9603 165 Avenue. Visit rvwars.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers Score and Win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave 118.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Well, Oiler fans, you can exhale. Leon Draisaitl, short term, according to Chris Knobloch, zero concern that he will be that he wouldn't be eligible for the playoffs. So he's saying it's a lower body injury. And I went, no, lower body is that a groin, core? Although core technically might be upper if we're talking the waist. But either way, in your core it can be all around that area. So that's kind of what it looked like last night for Draisaitl. Trent Frederic is a slight possibility to draw into the lineup. Now, here's the thing for the Oilers. There are two options. They won't get an emergency recall because you have to emergency recall. They did it for the goalie, but and that's just so he doesn't count as one of the 4 recalls. But the Oilers don't have any cap space to call up another player. So they would either put Trent Frederick on retroactive LTIR because he's been out long enough. You could do that. And then they could recall Derek Ryan, most likely, who's been skating in Edmonton since, what was it? When was Rodrigue called up? Thursday, whatever day it was. So Ryan's been here, with his family. The Condors have a huge game against Tucson tonight and tomorrow as they're battling for the final playoff spot. So I don't think they'd bring up anybody from there. So it'd probably be Derek Ryan. That would make the most sense. So if that's going to happen, it likely will come down, I would think, later today. At least him traveling. Maybe they wait. Although cap doesn't matter at this point, but we'll see. So those are the options. Either Frederick's playing or they might have to retroactive MIT because you don't qualify for emergency if they don't have enough healthy bodies. You have to play one game short before you can do it. Now, let's talk a little hockey as we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints, as they just want to continue to thank everybody who's helped them out this year, from fans to all of their sponsors who followed the team, cheered them on in their first year in the BCHL, and they're looking forward to having you all back in the brand new arena that will be ready for next season. That's the Saints. Welcome in the host of The Sheet, Jeff Marek. Jeff, how you doing?
Always good to hear the Brass Bonanza. Always puts a smile on my face, Jason Gregor. Always.
It is, buddy. It's Positive Friday. We do it. We love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who was the general manager that called down the Brass Bonanza?
Mr. Burke. Yeah. It's a fail. It's a fail.
But the other part of that is that was because the captain of the Hartford Whalers at the time went to him and said, the guys hate it. Do you know who that person was?
Now, was that, I don't know, was Ron Francis the captain then?
No. You know, this is a current general manager in the NHL.
General manager is the captain of the Whalers. Ooh.
Went to Brian Burke and said, the guys hate it. We got to stop it. It sounds too much like a college fight song, which it is.
Yeah. But it was still awesome, though. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah. So as much as Brian Burke wears it, this is the guy who really should wear it.
Who's that?
Pat Verbeek.
Oh, the little ball of hate. Oh,
ball of hate said, no, we don't like it, Berkey.
Yeah, well.
Take it down. And Brian has worn it ever since, but it was Pat Verbeek.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if Hartford ever gets a team again. You never know. Maybe they bring it back in. So I don't know if they'll get a team.
Not so sure about that, but I do think the NHL needs more green in it. And I do like watching the Carolina Hurricanes every now and then dress up as the old Hartford Whalers.
It's the greatest jersey ever, man. It's definitely the best logo. Yeah. So good. The green one. When they went to the blue, that was a fail. But the green and the white was awesome.
Agreed.
Agreed. I want to start with the bottom feeder.
Okay.
The Buffalo Sabres, Jeff. And,
oh boy.
Oh,
how much time you got?
Yeah. But like I look at teams and when you see it, and you pointed out to me when we were discussing what we're going to talk about on the show today, and you're like, hey, look at Buffalo. They finally call up the young kid, right? Noah Ostlund, really good players, being their best player, and they finally call him up and they slot him in on the fourth line with Mallenstein and Lafferty. Why?
Yeah. I don't know. Should be playing with Zucker and Tuck. I don't know. That would make more sense. Maybe shouldn't be playing net front on the power play, but I'm nitpicking here, I suppose. You know, there's a really interesting piece of video that the Rochester Americans put out today. So let me back this up a little bit. In my career, Jason, I can only tell you of one thing. I've learned one thing, and that one thing is this. You cannot lie to players. Players know who belong. Players know who should be there, who shouldn't be there. You cannot lie to players. And in this video that the Rochester Americans put out, it's after they clinch a playoff spot in the American Hockey League. And their head coach, Michael Leone, who, by the way, is an excellent coach. Like, I know there's not been a lot of cheering around the Buffalo organization this season, but they got some good players in Rochester and an excellent coach in Michael Leone. Anyhow, so Leone is addressing the team after they clinch. And Leone says, one more thing, Noah Ostlund, you're going up. And the whole room starts cheering. You can see that they put this up on their Twitter page. So the whole room starts cheering. And a couple of guys, Jason, start saying, it's about time. As in, like, finally. Like, no disrespect to Brett Murray. no disrespect to Jack Rathbone, but Noah Ostlund is the fourth call-up. So as you know, you get 4 call-ups post-trade deadline. And all the guys like, why is Ostlund not getting called up here? He's our best player. And all the guys know it. You can't lie to players. They know he should have been called up before. Like, it's not about rushing a guy to the NHL, because that's kind of been the story of the Buffalo Sabres. This is about, okay, it's a dead part of the season. Give this guy a taste of the NHL. He's earned it. And we had an injury to start the season, didn't come back till, I want to say, late November, early December. Noah Ostlund, awesome. He's a wonderful player. And he's going to be a big piece of the Buffalo Sabres for a long time when he finally makes it there full time. But all the players are like, it's about time. They all know that this guy's good enough to play in the NHL and shouldn't be the fourth call-up after trade deadline. And then to your point, it's a great one. No disrespect to Beck Valentine and Sam Lafferty, but this isn't exactly setting this guy up for success. It's almost like, and you've seen this before, setting a guy up so someone in the organization can say, see, this guy's not ready yet. Meanwhile, some skilled players, you can actually see what Noah Ostlund can bring. You might think that I'm being too trivial about this, that I'm overthinking it, but the thing about the Buffalo Sabres is they've been too casual about putting players in certain situations, in certain slots, calling them up too early, leaving them there when they're not ripened. And I look at this, and on the one hand, great that they're calling up Ostlund, but don't put the guy on the fourth line.
Yeah.
He's not a fourth line player. He's a skilled player. He belongs up your line. And let's face it, it is empty calorie time for the Sabres. Why are they doing it this way? No problem with them calling him up, but don't do it like this.
Yeah.
Don't bring him up, put him on the fourth line. That's my point.
Totally fair. Totally fair. You look around the NHL, and the Edmonton Oilers, Jeff, they're 8-4 in the 12 games without McDavid. It's not 1 or 2 games, 12 games. They're 8-4. Obviously, Leon, like, they're the only team in the league that can lose a top 3 forward and then replaces his lineup spot with another top 3 forward in Leon Draisaitl. So there is that advantage, no question. But they've had a lot of other guys step up. And I know Draisaitl got banged up last night. It's nothing serious, according to the head coach. He'll be ready. McDavid's back skating 100 miles an hour. He's getting close to coming back. Ekholm's going to be ready for the playoffs. Trent Frederick might make his debut tomorrow, if not Monday.
Saw that,
Then you got Kane. I see a lot of people are really down on the Oilers. I'm really not one. I've actually, the fact that they're on pace to have basically the same amount of points as last year, despite McDavid missing 12 games, which will be 13 by tomorrow. And who knows, maybe 14 on Monday. Well, definitely 14. And they're like 2 points pace behind last year. I actually think the Oilers are better, and we haven't seen how good they potentially be because you haven't seen Kane or Frederick yet.
Shut everybody down. Like, at this point, like, it was like, when, it was scary last night. Head coach Knobloch saying essentially no update, we'll see. Leon leaves that game in the second. You're saying, with all due respect to Connor McDavid, you're not going to win in the playoffs without McDavid. You're also not going to win without Leon. And for Leon Draisaitl to leave a game, and let's not forget, we saw him almost single-handedly beat the Los Angeles Kings on one leg, became the greatest stationary player in the history of the NHL. You'd say, "Oh man, that's a real tough one there." If I'm the Edmonton Oilers, man, I know you want to get McDavid back in there and Wheelan, but are you not tempted, Jason, just to shut McDavid down, shut Leon Draisaitl down, and say, you know what, we got this from here. We're not going to worry about the remainder of the regular season. We just need you guys to be healthy. That's what I would be thinking. Shut him down.
Yeah, well, as per Draisaitl, he just wants to tell everyone, according to Spec, he was hurt on the Gaudreau hit, and everybody thought he kind of fell backwards. He said it wasn't stepping on the puck. It's a new injury, not the one he just came back from, and he's going to be visibly healthy. So, like when you saw him fall there, he just kind of how he jarred himself. Like, who knows what it is? I'm not going to speculate, but I do find it when a guy gets hurt 4 games after he came back. Oh, they rushed him back. I'm like that's always odd to me. I'm like, he didn't get hurt 4 games. Like the guy was skating great and he was playing unreal, and then he just had an awkward fall. Like there's nothing about rushing back that has anything to do with it.
No, hockey happens. And that's why, like, considering how sensitive everything is right around this time, man, just shut your big boys down. Just shut your. I mean, I don't know. Am I overthinking this one? I know hockey players always have that mentality. I want to play every period of every game. I don't want to miss a shift, let alone a game. Am I overthinking this one here? Am I not thinking in sort of hockey player terms that if you're the Oilers, all you need is these guys healthy for the postseason and all hands on deck, which is, as you mentioned, what you're trending towards.
Yeah, I do know this. Like, McDavid will want to play a few games before the end of the year because he's always talked about he feels better when he's touching the puck. So could I see him get in a game next weekend? I probably could.
Yeah. I don't know. I know that I know hockey people don't like, and certainly hockey fans don't like hearing the term load management, but a situation like this, when the expectations are as high as they are and there is this recent slate of injuries for the Oilers, I don't know, man. Even if they are in there, I don't see any wisdom in seeing the number 2 beside Connor McDavid's ice time. How about that?
That's fair. The Montreal Canadiens, the New York Rangers, with Columbus's loss last night, it might be a 2-horse race. Columbus has a chance, but not much of a chance at this point. The Canadiens just keep doing it. And, the Rangers continue to kind of, tease you and then be average, look good a game and then lose. Who do you like with 7 games to go to grab that last playoff spot?
The Rangers are the proverbial, they're kind of a crude analogy, but here I go. The toilet seat at a Stag and Doe, up and down, up and down, up and down, where, I mean, this Montreal Canadiens story is fun. A lot of fun. Whether it come from behind win, whether it's, Nick Suzuki demonstrating that alongside Nikita Kucherov and Robert Thomas, they're the best players in the NHL since the Four Nations. Josh Anderson looks great. All of a sudden, inside of one season, Jason, we've seen something really bizarre happen. Is it just my eyes and ears deceiving me, or the Montreal Canadiens fans actually like Christian Dvorak? All of a sudden, they're loving this guy. But there's a lot to love about the entire team right now. I don't know about you, but heading into this season, I kind of said to myself about someone like Josh Anderson, well, you know what? It hasn't worked out. Things, for whatever reason, Josh Anderson, who always scores against the Maple Leafs, but you don't play against the Maple Leafs 82 times. It's been a tough sled for Josh Anderson. Maybe he's headed towards an off-season buyout. Now Anderson's got, 15 goals, I think.
Yeah.
Big body guy. They love him. Defense teammates. He's effective. Anderson, along with, I think, Tim Gleason and maybe one other player, are the only players in the history of the NHL to have fought both Zdeno Chara and Milan Lucic. I mean, you can count them on one hand.
Yeah.
And I just think about how valuable a guy like that is in the postseason, getting good performances from Samuel Montembeault. And listen, I'll tell you one more thing about Montreal, Jason. Spencer Carberry's probably going to win the Jack Adams. But how do you look at what Martin St. Louis has done with this team and not say, hold on a second, let's not make this a coronation for Spencer Carberry. Let's take some time here and think about what exactly Martin St. Louis has been able to do with this team. And the team still hasn't even come close to hitting their stride. And man, I'll tell you, when that building is rocking, put it this way, the loudest building I've ever been in for hockey was Edmonton during their run where they bowed out against the Carolina Hurricanes. I went to games against the Anaheim Ducks and games against the San Jose Sharks. That is the loudest building for hockey I've ever been in. The Bell Center is maybe the loudest building I've ever been in for MMA St. Pierre versus Diaz. It was deafening.
Right.
And you look at the Bell Center now for this team, the city's fallen in love with this team.
Yeah.
And when that building is rocking, with all due respect to Edmonton, which is outstanding, there is nothing like it in the NHL. There is nothing like it when Montreal and that team is rocking and those fans are right there with them. And we're seeing that now. I want this story to continue. The Rangers, to me, outside of if Igor Shesterkin just says, hop on my back, we're going to the postseason, I'm going to get you there, that's great. I don't know that there's enough there to offset what has been a great job by these players, and also that coach who has this team. And what was he saying the other day? You know, the learning is all done. Now it's time to win. I'm paraphrasing.
Yes.
It's a great line by Marty St. Louis, and it's such a fun story to follow. So much fun.
Yeah, no, it's Marty St. Louis, and if they get in there, that's definitely, I think, a good story to someone to look at. I really think Scott Arniel in Winnipeg's probably not getting a ton, being an assistant coach, taking over. I
agree.
That's hard to
agree.
do. And the Blues resurgence might get their head coach a little bit of love in the coaching ranks. Gets fired, comes in, and I don't know. Has a guy ever got fired and then joined a new team and won Coach of the Year?
Ooh,
I don't think so.
That is really.
I'd have to look.
In the same season, my
Yes.
gut says no. But I'll tell you what, coaches publicly will never say they cheer against the team that fired them. When you're Jim Montgomery and you woke up this morning and you looked at the standings, you saw where your team was, and then you saw the Boston Bruins beneath the Buffalo Sabres.
Yep.
In the Eastern Conference standings. Schadenfreude, taking delight in the misery of others. Maybe it wasn't the coaching after all. I think Boston's going to be a really interesting story to watch here. I can see them bringing in Joel Quenneville. To be honest with you, I can really see that one, and we'll see where that situation heads. But they really need to change the conversation, change the dynamic of that team, and get back to winning. They have the pieces there. But to the original point, yeah, Montgomery's going to get some love certainly, and I'm guessing he's feeling right chuffed about his team now. It's won 11 games in a row, which is maybe the biggest story right now in the NHL.
Jeff, as always, buddy, great stuff, man. Have a safe drive. Enjoy the game tonight, and we'll chat with you again next week.
Thanks, pal. We'll chat soon. Be good, Jason.
There you go. That's Jeff Marek joining us on the road. And yeah, I'm looking it up. Now, Gerard Gallant, no. Cassidy, no. Now, Cassidy, when he won it in Boston, and was that? Oof, I'd have to. Maybe it was just shortened season that year. This is a shortened season. So I'm trying to think if there's a coach who, when Hitchcock with the Blues. Because when he got fired in Columbus, or is that a different? He's been fired a few times, so can't remember. But I have to look that up. I'm trying to look it up in the break and see. Quick break. We'll get a sports update coming up. We got Wanye Gretz. We got Andy Strickland. We'll go to St. Louis. They're on fire. The Blues now look like they could be facing the team who wins the Pacific Division as they hold down the first wild card spot. As we get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by Booster Juice. Stop in and check out the new food options. Guacamole black bean wrap, the guacamole chicken panini, and the egg and chipotle black bean wrap. Visit your nearest Booster Juice and treat your taste buds today.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
News from practice today. Head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, Chris Knobloch, saying Leon Draisaitl suffered an injury, unlikely to play, but doesn't expect him to be out long-term, especially going into the playoffs. On the ice tonight, 3 games. Red Wings up against the Hurricanes, Blackhawks in Washington, and the Islanders taking on the Minnesota Wild. The Edmonton Oil Kings in PA taking on the Raiders. Game 5 of their series. Oil Kings leading 3-1. This one gets going just after 7 o'clock Mountain Time. In the association, the Raptors taking on the Pistons. You got the Suns, Celtics, Pacers, Jazz, Kings in Charlotte, or Rockets up against the Thunder, Nuggets in the Bay to take on the Warriors, Lakers, Pelicans, and Clippers meet the Dallas Mavericks. In the majors, Jays in action right now, bottom of the 6th inning out in New York. They trail the Mets 5-0. Elsewhere, Red Sox up on the Cards 13-6. Athletics and Rockies tied at 1. The Yankees lead the Pirates 3-0. And the Mariners and Giants tied at 1 apiece midway through the 2nd. Later tonight, Phillies host the Dodgers, Diamondbacks in Washington. You got the Orioles and the Royals, Reds in Milwaukee, Angels taking on the Guardians. Earlier today, Tigers get past the White Sox 7-4, and it was the Cubs over the Padres 3-1. In the BCHL, playoffs get going tonight. You got Sherwood Park and Salmon Arm taking on the Silverbacks. That gets going at 8. And in the AJ Divisional Finals get going. Whitecourt hosting Grand Prairie and Drumheller in Calgary. Both those games will start at 7. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Wanye Gretz from Oilers Nation, Andy Strickland, St. Louis Blues side client reporter, and Olympic gold medalist Lauriane Munzer. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Volvo Cars Edmonton invites you to their biggest sale of the year. The March showroom event is on now. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 1.99% and save $3,500. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,500. Lease or finance a 2024 XC40 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $2,500. Don't miss the March showroom event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
At Papa John's, you get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, check out the Papa Pairings menu to save. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, till the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy! Oh yeah, save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertips. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins, multiply your prizes up to 6 times, and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the Fortune Coin symbol to win cash, trigger the jackpot, launch the free spins bonus, and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on playalberta.ca. Claim your offer today.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
This is a slam dunk. Dive into Edmonton's vibrant basketball scene with exclusive interviews and expert analysis. I'm Paul Sir, and I host The Basketball Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440.
If you or someone you care for are injured in a motor vehicle accident, please listen up. I'm Grant Fedoruk from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and let me proudly say that we won't be the place your insurer tells you to go. We won't be the place because we don't sign agreements with the insurance company. We don't work for them, we work for you. We do want to be the place that your friends, family, and other medically trained professionals send you. So if your insurance company says that you have to see their therapist, you should know that's not true. You have the right to choose where you go, and we hope you choose us. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, and it is Friday. You know what that means? Lotto Max. Get your tickets. Tonight's draw, 22 million. The Matt Savoy draw for Lotto Max. For all you Oilers fans, get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. So the Edmonton Oilers, here we can give you the rundown if you missed it on Lauriane Draisaitl. So Lauriane Draisaitl told Mark Spector that he got banged up on that Gaudreau hit slash trip, and also that it's not new, or sorry, it's a new injury. It's not anything reoccurring from beforehand. It's just a new one, but fully expects to be back. You have him on. All right. Well, let's hear from that quote right now then.
Yeah, he will not be playing tomorrow, and he's out short term, but timeline, we don't have a exact time frame. Lower body, and don't believe it's going to be something that's going to head into the playoffs. We think it's going to be back well before that, so we're not too concerned, especially with Leon's pain tolerance and things that he's played through before, but he will be missing some time.
Yeah, he'll miss some time, so he's not going to play the rest 2 games of the road trip for sure, and who knows when he'll be back, but he'll be back by the playoffs. And you know what? McDavid's getting closer to coming back. Trent Frederick maybe plays tomorrow. Now, if Frederick isn't healthy to go, the Oilers might have to put him on retroactive LTIR. I'm crunching the numbers. I can't see any other option because I don't think they you don't qualify for an emergency recall if you haven't played a game yet with the player short. That's the rule. So you have to play 1 game short, then you could qualify for an emergency recall the next game. Basically, that's the punishment the league says. You can't just wait. Oh, well, now we need a player, and you get to call him up automatically. So there's some punishment, basically. So if you don't manage your cap properly, yada, yada. Now, the Oilers could put Frederick on retroactive LTIR because he's already missed 10 games. So that would be easy. You could do that. So we'll see if Frederick can't go, then that's obviously what they're going to have to do. And I would guess it would be Derek Ryan who would get the recall because the Condors are playing Tucson, and they're in a battle. They're 1 point back at Tucson. They have 2 games in hand. They're playing them tomorrow night and Sunday, and they want to get at least 1 win. So we'll see. Now, let's welcome in Wanya Gretz from Oilers Nation. Wanya, how you doing?
I feel like I'm inside the radio right now watching you give Lauriane Draisaitl news live from 4 feet away. That was a moment. I know the truth. I was just there. I heard it. I drove here wondering, geez, I wonder what's going on. I wonder if Gregor will know. Yes, he knows exactly.
Yeah, so that's why I have Spec on the road, which is great. And, he talked to Draisaitl, and Spec put it out there. And, Draisaitl told him that it was from that collision. If you watch it again, watch how awkward he falls, right? And so, he finished the game. He says that had nothing to do with the puck. And even when he stepped on the puck, it looked weird. But his leg, didn't rip out or anything like that. It just, it looked off. Now, for most of us who are maybe as flexible as crowbars, you might pull something, but pro athletes probably not pulling something there. And obviously they didn't finish the game. But I outlined it earlier. The Oilers are 8-4 without McDavid, and Draisaitl's played in 9 of those 12 games. He has 16 points in those games. The Oilers, I know a lot of people said, I don't think they're better. And I'm kind of I'm not so sure. I would argue that the Oilers are a better team when everybody's healthy this year than last year.
We have a bit of a bias because we haven't seen a healthy Oilers here when's the last time the Oilers were a healthy lineup?
Well, technically not all year because Kane hasn't played a game.
Well, that's true.
But if you remove Kane from the equation, then I guess March, 20th, 22nd, whatever the last game McDavid played. So, and then even then, Hyman's missed some time, and your guys are going to miss time. I get it. 3 or 4 games I'm not too concerned about, but McDavid's now missed 12 games, out of 75. I think that's 15, 16%, give or take, 16.5 maybe to look it up. But either way, it's a significant enough amount where it's not 1 or 2 games, and the Oilers are 8-4 without him. That's pretty impressive.
When Connor Brown scored that first goal last night, I said, is Connor McDavid even necessary? I said it out loud. And then when Jeff Skinner scored the third goal, I said, Leon who? I said it out loud again. Who are these people? We have the supporting cast necessary.
And the other guys who have stepped up in that time, Evan Bouchard in the 12 games without McDavid, 11 assists. Darnell Nurse, 8 points. Hyman and Nugent Hopkins each with 6 goals and 9 points. So you're having a lot. Arvidsson has 5 goals. Henrique when Draisaitl and McDavid went out and he had to go back in and be your top line guy. Well, what did he come up with? Well, he came up with 3 points in 3 games. So, you're getting guys stepping up, which is key. Now, tomorrow, that's going to be it's going to be a big, if the Oilers could find a way to win tomorrow, because I'll be honest, I look at tomorrow's game without McDavid, without Draisaitl, without Ekholm, without Skinner, without Kane, Frederick maybe. I'm like, man, I would expect the Oilers to lose because LA's playing really well and LA's really good at home. But if the Oilers win that game tomorrow, that'd be a huge boost for that team. Huge. It'd be a massive boost. Could be like internally guys like, yeah, you know what? We got a really good group here. It'd be a huge game to win. Now they're going to go in believing they can win. No, you don't have a loser's attitude, but I'm not going to sit here on Monday and, I can't believe the Oilers lost to the Kings. They're brutal, right? Like now, maybe if they get absolutely spanked, we'll discuss it. But if they lose that game 4-2, 3-2, 5-2, whatever, it wouldn't, to me, be a major surprise.
What's the status of Stu Skinner at the moment?
Stu Skinner, I was told, has been on the ice. I think it was yesterday. I don't know about today. Didn't follow up. I'm assuming if he was on the ice yesterday, he's probably going to do it again today. But that doesn't mean the fact he's on the ice. The good news is his concussion, whiplash, whatever it was, wasn't the level we've seen from players where they can't sit in a room with lights on. They got to be in pitch black. And that happens for some guys. Like those are the real serious ones. I remember Jared Stoll telling us on the show, like he was in there for like a month. It was awful. So that's a good sign. But because it's a head and a neck for a goalie, I would argue that position, like there's defensemen and forwards aren't going side to side nearly as much as goalies are with their head. So, Stuart Skinner, we knew he wasn't going to play on the road trip. Like, would he be ready to play St. Louis? Probably not. So, then you're talking, you've got San Jose, and then you got 4 games left, right? So, there's a set of back-to-back, so he's only going to play 1 there. Like, I think if Skinner could get in 3 games, 2 games, that would probably be okay.
Is that the same, you think, for all players across the board who are injured? Like, how many games does it take for an active NHL player to knock the rust off?
Well, McDavid's so good. McDavid could not play another game. Draisaitl doesn't play another game. Like, when I talk elite players, I look at Kucherov. He's off for 4.5 months. It didn't bother him. So, McDavid, he would be out of that. Basically, if he doesn't play again this regular season, I'm not saying he won't, but that's hypothetically. That would be a month. I think he would be fine. Draisaitl, we're talking, 16 days? So he would be fine. Kane, unless he goes on a conditioning stint, it's going to be 10 months. A little bit different, and I don't put him in the elite category. Matthias Ekholm skating. I think you'll see Matthias Ekholm at some point next week.
Could Kane go play games for Bakersfield?
He could, in theory, based on the rarely used but legal LTIR conditioning stint. So a player who's on LTIR, because normally when you go, a lot of people don't know this. They think when a player goes on a conditioning stint, he's just down on the minors, but he still counts on your NHL roster. So you're technically whatever. If you have a 23-man roster, well, then you technically have 22 because of one guy's in the minors. But the Oilers can't do that with Kane. They don't have cap space. So you can, by rule of the CBA, he could go on a 3-game conditioning stint. Then they could ask for an extension, which I think that's when probably would raise some eyebrows for the commissioners. Like, wait a sec, you want an extension on your conditioning stint? Now, maybe he'd agree to it. He still would have to agree to this one anyway because it's an LTIR one. Kane has to agree to it. And so when you look at the Oilers games, they play on the Sunday, Monday, Wednesday. They play on 3. But if I look at Bakersfield and the Condors, their schedule, he could, if he agreed to it, and that's the other thing, he has to agree to it, first of all. But let's just say Evander Kane's like, you know what, guys? Like, I want to get in some games here. I need to feel I want to try to knock the rust off. So if you look at it, where could he play 3 games and then it wouldn't impact the end of the regular season? You could send him down on a conditioning stint on Friday, send him down on Thursday, the 10th of April. He could play Friday the 11th, Saturday the 12th, and Wednesday the 16th. Those are 3 games. Now he's done his conditioning stint. The Oilers' regular season ends on the 16th. So then he's fine, right? There's no cap circumvention. The regular season's over. Away you go. So in theory, that's when it could happen.
This is good strategy. Do you have the authority to make this happen?
I do not. But it would. It is something, honestly. Like I've been talking about this for a while on the show, and it's legal. So I tried to. I know Oilers fans, they hated me last year when I said, "Hey, Vegas is not doing anything illegal," right? And suddenly all the Oilers fans, because now it's their player, like, well, hey, this is fine. Everybody knows Stone was hurt. You don't debate that. But the day he's ready to play is debatable. Like, think about it right now today. What are all other fans saying? Don't rush Draisaitl back. Don't rush him back. But you opposing teams, you better rush your player back because otherwise you're getting LTIR benefits. Right?
Exactly.
So, but if I'm the Oilers and you have a legal opportunity to do it, why wouldn't you do it? There's no reason. I know people are like, yeah, but if Kane goes to the minors, guys are going to take runs. And I'm like, who? Go look at the roster of the Gulls. Go look at the roster of Coachella and the roster of Abbotsford. This is not the AHL of even 15 years ago where you had lots of real tough guys. Guys are like, oh, Evander Kane, who's a pretty tough guy, I want to see. It's not going to happen, right? So I'm not, to me, that's a bogus excuse. Oh, you can't send Kane down because someone might run him. Like, Evander Kane ain't scared of anyone, number one. And number two, there's just not many guys in the league now that play that way.
I don't even think Evander Kane's scared of anyone in the NHL.
No.
Let alone the AHL.
No, he's not.
If you're Evander Kane, would you want to do that?
He should, because it's just about timing, right? Like it doesn't financially, there's no loss, right? He's getting his salary either way because he's on LTIR. So I haven't played a game since June 10th, game 2 of the Stanley Cup final last year. We're talking now, it's over. That would be 10 months to the day. You could put him on the LTIR, send him down. He could get in just to knock off some rust because I know he's skating with the Oilers and you do it all. But every player, what do they always tell us? Well, you can't really emulate a game until you're in a game. And so the Condors, they're in a battle for the playoffs. So the games are going to be intense. It's not playoff games. It's not the skill. But to me, I would do it. Now, maybe you could send him down for the 3 game. He might not play back-to-back. That might not be the best strategy. So maybe he's only down there for 2. I don't care. But I would start. I don't see any negative to it if you're Evander Kane. Like, don't tell me, he can get hurt. He can get hurt anywhere. He can get hurt in practice, right? He can get hurt in the first playoff game. Does it matter? Like, I don't think it's a valid reason to always in the back of your mind, he could get hurt. We can get hurt any game.
Is Bakersfield in the hunt?
Oh, yeah, they're 1-0. Like, this is a huge weekend tonight. Tomorrow and Sunday. They play Tucson, the team they're chasing. They're 1 point back. They got 2 games at hand. So I think all you're looking for is a split this weekend because then you're still 1 back, but they've got 2 games left. Or no, sorry, they would have, because Condors have, what do they got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. So then the other team would have 4, you'd have 6. So you'd still be in the driver's seat, theoretically, if you split this weekend.
If you're a huge Condors fan and you're pushing for the playoffs, and suddenly Evander Kane shows up.
There's another reason. It helps your organization.
Yeah.
So I would totally do it. Take a quick break. We'll return. We got Andy Strickland joining us next. The hottest of hot next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
RV Wars hits the north side, April 3rd to 6th. Go RV, Vision RV, and Arcan RV have joined forces for RV Wars. Take advantage of pre-tariff pricing on travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes, and more. The last of the 2024 models are being cleared out. Make no payments for 6 months OAC. Now is the time to buy with special discounted finance rates. Free admission with a donation to the food bank. RV Wars this weekend on the north side, 9603 165 Avenue. Visit rvwars.ca.
Don't settle for being on the rate of last resort if you don't have to be. Check your most recent electricity bill. If it says the words rate of last resort on it, then there are likely better options available for you. In fact, you could save hundreds of dollars per year by switching plans. Check your bill, then go to ucahelps.ca to explore your options. You will likely find a better rate and could have hundreds more in your pocket by the end of the year. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.328. Welcome back. Positive Friday, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. The Gregor Show is always presented by title sponsor PlayAlberta.ca. Sports, lottery, casino, they got it all. The brand new app is ready to roll, and it's looking good. And, right now they got a promo code special, Gregor100, Gregor100 will get you a $100 casino bonus. Check it out, PlayAlberta.ca. As it's time now to go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. They got their service division, if you don't know. Of course, has the big bucket truck, a working height of 45 feet, can be used in all exterior lighting, electrical repairs, and more as they keep expanding at actionelectrical.net. We go to St. Louis, the Blues, the hottest team in the league, but they got a little bit of negative news last night as Andy Strickland joins us. Andy, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
Jason, great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Well, Andy, it's been quite the run here for the St. Louis Blues. They're on fire. They've won 11 in a row, and they pretty much, I declared it earlier this week, they're in. Now it looks like they got a really good chance to be the number one wild card team and most likely take on Vegas, although I guess there's still a chance. Could be LA or Edmonton, but it's probably going to be Vegas. I guess let's start, though, with the bad news. Dylan Holloway is out week to week. So if I say week to week, I'm guessing he's done for the regular season?
I would think so. I mean, I was explaining it to somebody just a few minutes ago. Typically, if they're back within a week, you say day to day. If it's week to week, that's never a good situation. So, listen, you hope for the best and you hope to be able to get him back. Typically, if you're week to week at this stage, I mean, what can you really expect even come playoff time in terms of, a player being 100%? And I'll say the same thing about guys that are getting banged up for Edmonton, too, in any team. I mean, the reality of being 100% come playoff time when you're not 100% at this stage of the season is probably unrealistic. So, listen, you hope to get him back. This guy has been such a huge piece of the Blues' success. He's been so important. He does so many things well. And he's such a big part of so many things the Blues do well. So, listen, this could not have come at a worse time for St. Louis. Terrible news when you consider, just how well he's been playing. But, hey, it's next man up. They got to find somebody else to step up, but they're going to miss him big time.
Yeah, and, I watched the replay. Now, guys can get hurt at any point. It's just unfortunate because he's had an unbelievable year. It's fair to say, Andy, that, the Blues, I know they're super high on him, but, they only offered him 2.3. I don't think anybody thought he'd be a 60-point player this year. Maybe they thought he'd be that down the road. But, man, he has busted the ceiling, I would think, on their expectations this year.
Oh, I think so. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, so much of the talk was about Philip Broberg, and it was almost like, Dylan Holloway would be the throw-in. Even when people in Edmonton and outside of Edmonton and throughout Canada were analyzing the offer sheets, I mean, a lot of the analysis was, well, Edmonton will match on Broberg, but they won't match on Holloway. Almost as if it's, and it reminded me of when the Blues traded for Alexander Steen and Carlo Koliakovo years ago because the Blues needed a defenseman. And Alexander Steen was kind of the throw-in, and then he ended up being, the player that played here longer and had a ton of success. And now he's going to be the next general manager of the team. And, was a big part of the Stanley Cup championship team. So, but you're right. I mean, this guy has done it all. He's increased their overall team speed. He's got great chemistry with Jordan Kyrou. He is their one-time option on the power play. He scored a lot of power play goals from the flank with his ability to one-time the puck. He's got great chemistry with Kyrou, like I said. He wins battles. This guy comes to play every single day. He's one of the hardest working players the Blues have on their roster. He's constantly staying on the ice after practice, working on extra stuff with Kyrou. And those guys, have a good thing going. So, listen, you hope for the best. You really hope to get him back where he can contribute come playoff time because they're going to need it, but they're going to have a run.
Yeah, you look at this Blues run, and I know obviously in St. Louis, I understand it. They won 11 in a row in 2019, coming out of nowhere, and they won the Stanley Cup. So I get the comparisons. It's obviously a very different team, but Holloway isn't going to be ready maybe to start. What about Parayko, Andy? What's his status?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I think he's been cleared to play now.
Okay.
And if they really needed him to play today, that he could. I think it comes down to him being confident in that knee. He had to have it scoped. This is new territory for him. This guy's been pretty much indestructible. Just the way he's built, he never gets hurt. He had the back injury a few years back, but for the most part, he's been healthy throughout the course of his career. But I would imagine he's going to play a couple of games, at least a couple of games, you would think, prior to the playoffs. He's going to want to get back in there and play. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when he gets back in there. The Blues play tomorrow night at home against Colorado. He's not going to play in that game. They hit the road for 3, including 1 in Edmonton. You're going to see Parayko at some point on this upcoming road trip.
Andy Strickland joins us. So if you look at it, Andy, and I know, hey, the Blues probably weren't even focused on it, but now that, the Blues look like they're comfortably in a playoff spot, Winnipeg or Vegas, if you had to pick, who would you rather face?
Well, it's interesting because in order to get to the second round, you got to get to the first round. So a lot of people are analyzing this as, which is the easiest path to get to the final. Is it through the Pacific or is it through the Central, where you can maybe avoid, the Dallases and the Colorados, which are two certain heavyweights in the conference. And Edmonton has to be taken very serious too when you consider the run they went on last year, and obviously with the two-headed monster they have up top. As long as they're healthy, they're going to be a really difficult out. But I would say that, listen, that's a tough one from this standpoint, Jason. Like, the Blues have had success against Winnipeg. Bennington's had success going head-to-head against Hellebuck when you look at what he did in 2019, although that was a while ago. But most recently in the championship game of the Four Nations. you know, they're both really, really good teams. I would say Vegas. You know, the Blues tend to play well in Vegas.
Okay.
They play well against Vegas. You know, but it's kind of pick your poison. I mean, both are going to be very, very difficult teams to face. But getting back to what I said originally, I mean, if I'm St. Louis and I'm looking at it, I would rather play out of the Pacific than out of the Central. I think Dallas is the most dangerous team to me. I'm talking to other people today, and they think it's Colorado, talking about teams in the Western Conference. If you're able to win a first-round matchup, if you can avoid Dallas or Colorado and take your chances against a winner of Edmonton and LA, I think that's the preferred route. But again, we're talking about Vegas. We're talking about Winnipeg, two legit heavyweights and serious Stanley Cup contenders. There's a lot of teams that you consider contenders. There's other teams you consider favorites. They would fall in the favorite category just based on the regular seasons that they've had. Although you never know, Dallas could catch, you know, Winnipeg. As much as we talk about, you know, Vegas getting caught, you never know, Dallas could catch Winnipeg as well in the Central. But for me, I would take my chances against Vegas just because of what I just laid out, just in terms of the path. If you're able to win that round, neither round's going to be easy in terms of Winnipeg or Vegas. But if you're able to get past the first round, I'd rather go through the Pacific versus the Central.
Yeah, it is interesting. I think Edmonton, because of their injuries, you know, people might be downplaying them, but and Draisaitl and McDavid are healthy. The fact that the Oilers are 8-4 without McDavid in the lineup, they haven't even had Trent Frederick yet. They don't have Evander Kane yet. If they're healthy, I think Edmonton's going to surprise a few people, because I see a lot of people thinking they don't have a chance against LA, which kind of blows my mind. I'm like, LA is not, I don't have LA in the top echelon of the West. I think LA's good. I don't think they're great. They're not Dallas. They're not Colorado. They're not Edmonton for me. So I don't have them.
And I agree with you, Jason. And listen, I'm not going to downplay or underestimate Edmonton at all. This strictly comes down to health. And whenever players aren't available at this stage of the season, you have to question where they're at, because they're not playing. And you have to assume when they do come back that they're not going to be 100%. I mean, an 80% Connor McDavid is still better than 95% of the players in the league. He's going to be motivated. He's going to be dangerous. They got a taste of a run last season. You know, typically when you see teams go on a run, a deep run after they've been kind of kicking at the can for several years, and they finally break through, you know, they almost become even more dangerous the following year. So listen, I don't think people are voluntarily saying, hey, I want to take on Draisaitl and McDavid in the Stanley Cup playoffs. But if you can catch them when they're not 100%, I think you take advantage of that.
How much of St. Louis's, you know, turnaround has to be attributed to their head coach?
Oh, a lot. I mean, what this guy was able to do, I think it was such a whirlwind, Jason. You know, you're coaching one team and then you get fired, and then just a matter of a day or two later, you're on the bench for another team.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really have an opportunity to get to know your personnel, evaluate what you have, who you want to play with who. But, you know, you look at a guy like Zachary Bolduc, who's still considered a rookie in the NHL. He had 0 goals on the season when Montgomery took over, and he's got 16 now. He was elevated up the lineup. He's been given an opportunity to be a consistent, player on the power play. They've got 2 units who they roll with, so both units play equally the same. So, you know, he's a guy who's got 16 goals under Monty. The penalty kill, the power play has been exceptional since he's taken over. They made some tweaks to how they attack teams in the offensive zone with their forecheck. So, you just look at the Four Nations break. I think that gave him an opportunity to kind of sit back and do exactly what I just said in terms of evaluate who he has, what he has, who he likes, who he doesn't like, how he can get, quality performances out of certain guys to elevate their game. And then he had a couple of real hard practices coming out of the Four Nations that I think he used, or that served almost as, kind of a mini training camp. They were long practices where they would, scrape the ice in the middle of the practice, then go back out for part 2 of the practice. And they were really, really hard skates as well, Jason.
Yeah.
So I think that was, something that, he was able to take advantage of, having that break. But getting a guy like Cam Fowler here in St. Louis as well, just before the Winter Classic. This guy's leading all Blues defensemen in scoring since he got here. You look at his numbers in Anaheim before he got to St. Louis and his numbers since he's arrived here in St. Louis. It's been incredible to watch this guy play and how he's impacted the team. And, they've won 11 in a row right now. You mentioned Parayko. He's been out for all 11 wins, which is even incredible. It's how they're defending. I think they lead the NHL right now in rush chances against since the Four Nations. They're right there at the top of the league in shots against since the Four Nations. They're allowing just over 23 shots per game, which is a big difference of what they were allowing before. I mean, it just seemed like every game they were allowing, north of 30 shots, prior to the Four Nations. So they got a competent goaltender, but also a coach that was able to, make some tweaks and make some adjustments in terms of his line combinations. They put Tyler Tucker in there, who's pretty much been a player game in and game out on the back end. He was given a chance before, but never really this serious of a look. And they've got a fourth line now, which, some people listening would say, okay, who cares about a fourth line? But, the Blues won a Stanley Cup in large part because of the play of the fourth line. They started every period. They were truly the tone setter for this team with Barbashev and Sundqvist and Steen. And, now with Walker and Faksa and Toropchenko, they've kind of provided that element of physicality to go along with chipping in some offense, when the situation presents itself. I mean, they're not just running around like their heads cut off playing crazy with no purpose whatsoever. They play physical, but they hit you to get the puck back, and then they make plays too. So they've been really good for this team as well. But defensively, listen, they're hardly giving up anything. I can think of one breakaway that they've given up over the course of the last 10, 15 games or so. Hardly any odd man rushes. So that comes down to structure, and for me, that's coaching.
Well, the reason I ask, Andy, is because there's only one head coach in NHL history who was fired and then hired by another team and won the Jack Adams. And that was also head coach of the St. Louis Blues, Ken Hitchcock. So, so just saying, you never know. If the Blues are looking for things that have been repeated, maybe that's one. It'll be hard for, somebody.
You said Jack Adams. Yeah, I don't know. Spencer Carberry, I feel like he's got it locked up. But
Carberry's probably.
I was talking. Yeah. I was talking to Hitch about that today, actually.
Wow. Okay.
I do another podcast called Hockey Sense, in addition to the Cam and Strick podcast, which hopefully people have heard of who are listening. And you can check that out if you haven't. But I also do a podcast that's more geared towards St. Louis, and it's a radio show that I did here in St. Louis for 20 plus years that I've taken now strictly to the podcast platform. But I had Hitch on there today. We talked about that, and but the difference is, he was working with Columbus, but he wasn't on the bench. It's just very unusual to see this situation with Montgomery, where you're actually coaching another team, get fired, and then you're coaching another team in the same season. And then to have this type of success. But of course, Craig Berube, listen, he was on the Blues bench. It's not like he came from a different team, but he took over midseason as well. People are drawing the comparisons, Jason, to 2019. I will say quickly that team had underachieved up to that point. They got their coach fired, which was based on performance. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Drew Bannister was going to last the entire season, but he was fired at the time that he was, primarily because Jim Montgomery was available and had a history and a relationship with Doug Armstrong and the St. Louis Blues, serving as an assistant here in recent years. His wife is from here. So, I mean, there's a lot of connection to St. Louis, spends a lot of time here in the summer, always has. But that team in 2019, if you remember, they went out and signed Ryan O'Reilly and David Perron and Tyler Bozak and Patrick Maroon and all these guys in the offseason. They were considered a contender entering the year, and they had just completely, I mean, it was just an utter failure up to that point. They almost traded everybody away. They elected to hang on to everyone. And they ended up being the 3 seed entering the playoffs that year.
Andy, always good to catch up with you, man. Have yourself an awesome day.
Looking forward to it. Absolutely, Jason. All the best, man. Hopefully we'll see you in the playoffs.
Yeah, you bet, man. We'll see. That's the Andy Strickland, of course, from St. Louis, the Strickland Cam podcast. It's actually quite entertaining with him and Cam Jansen. And, interesting that the Blues have, you know what? Hey, they've earned it. They've worked their way in, but that's terrible news for Dylan Holloway. He's probably just gutted. He's had him in a great year. You get to the most fun time of the year, and he gets injured. And week to week, I agree with Andy wholeheartedly. Day to day is usually, well, that probably means a week. Week to week. So the playoffs are going to start 2 weeks tomorrow. We're 15 days away from it. Now, there's probably only going to be a few games on the 19th, but they don't want to miss a Saturday, nor should they. So teams who end early in the week, they're going to play on the Saturday. Then you'll have games Sunday. Last year, the Oilers didn't start until the Monday, them and the Kings. So we'll see if that repeats itself. LA does play on Thursday. The Oilers finish up on a Wednesday. I was looking at arena availability. The Lakers, they might not even be starting at home, so it won't matter for arena availability. That the crypto, there's nothing scheduled on the Sunday, so they could start there. Now, if the Lakers do get the number 4 seed, then they would probably start that week. But right now, like Golden State beat them last night, and Golden State is suddenly 1 game back. Memphis Grizzlies are one game back as well. So the Lakers are far from a guarantee to get home court advantage. Would be great though to see Lakers and the Warriors. That's who I'd want to see in the opening round for NBA fans. Quick break. It is the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. We'll return with Lauriane Munzer.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertip. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins, multiply your prizes up to 6 times, and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the Fortune Coin symbol to win cash, trigger the jackpot, launch the free spins bonus, and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on playalberta.ca. Claim your offer today.
With the lead up to the playoffs underway, players are definitely stepping up their game.
And the fans are doing the same. Simple snacks like chips and dip may work at the front half of the season, but now more and more fans are rocking the Wilhauk beef jerky for game time get-togethers.
Just make sure you bring enough for everyone if you want to be invited back for the playoffs.
Make your next hockey game day a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win games with salad.
There's one. And another. No, not spring flowers yet, but rather huge deals. It's GMC's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick. Nab 0% financing up to 72 months on our most popular Sierra half-tons, or massive discounts starting at $8,000. Choose your truck from a great selection, like the fabulous all-new Canyon, right up to the trailer-hauling Sierra HD with the industry-leading Duramax diesel. Spring into Wolf GMC Buick today and snag your truck, and see the savings at wolfgmcbuick.com.
At McDonald's, there are new breakfast sandwiches with a secret ingredient.
A secret ingredient?
It's a little sweet, born in the cold, cradled by spring.
Gotcha. It's maple.
Well, yes, but let me finish. It's made
with 100% Canadian maple syrup?
Right again. It's a brand new smoky maple sauce featured in...
Oh, some new McD's breakfast sandwiches.
And you can try it
before 11 a.m. only.
Wow, you're good at this.
I know what I like. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
For a limited time at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Mr. Rooter hits the link.
So I tell the guy it's leaking because you have a hole-in-one.
Hey, Mr. Rooter, you have a better chance of hitting the green with a crescent wrench, you bum.
Oh, boy. It's my rival, Mr. Plunger.
You swing a club like you plumb. Lousy.
Lousy, eh? Hey, Mr. Plunger, there's a clog down there that even you could fix.
For a plumber you can trust, call Mr. Rooter.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta, DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Feeding a crowd, get the triple plate, 3 large specialty or 5 topping pizzas for only $54 when you use promo code 3play at papajohns.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$350, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, one congrats with you. Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. As we welcome back to the show, of course, Olympic gold medalist. Also, she is a mental coach. Lauriane Munzer joins us. Lauriane, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing, Jason?
I am great. I'm really good. So I want to talk about, now you get into crunch time for, we'll spot NBA, NHL, but it's on any sport. I don't care. You're getting down into the crunch time, you try to get prepared, but how what's the concern about maybe over preparing mentally and, obviously the games are going to be more intense. The competition, whatever you're doing is more intense, but you don't necessarily tell yourself that, do you?
Nope. I think the biggest concern, Jason, is to come in over prepared physically. Mentally, not so much, because I don't think you can overtrain the mental part. I think people undertrain it. And I think going in with a total clear focus of, okay, what are you coming up against? What are you going to meet? How are you going to mitigate it? So how many combinations and scenarios can you set yourself up to? Have you worked through? And then can you go through them backwards, forwards? Can you stop and start them and then get somebody to go with you along the way and then just ambush you, just like throw something in that you haven't thought of, that you haven't seen or haven't experienced before, because it's going to happen. Because I don't think any player, any athlete has experienced every possible scenario that is possible. There's always going to be some fluke thing. You see some of the quarterbackers or some of the line guys, they're running down and then all of a sudden they're jumping over somebody. Well, I don't think you really practice that. I think you hack around, but it's in those moments that you dig into that memory bank of what you've experienced, but what you've mentally trained.
We're watching several Oilers down the stretch, Lauriane, struggling with injuries of some we know and some we don't. Is playing through pain and coping with injuries something an athlete can improve upon as their careers go on?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think some athletes are going to experience more injury and more pain than others. Some are going to be like really dumb moves, and then some are just going to be, didn't even see it coming. It just happened. And again, that's something that you can mitigate if you're in the injury point or you're like sidelined. It's what are you doing mentally? Because physically you might not be able to train or practice like you would normally. So then it's like, what are you doing mentally? And it's what you're walking through mentally, training yourself can actually carry you forward so that when you get on the ice, when you get on the bike, when you get back in the gym, you haven't lost as much momentum as what you think. But I don't know. I think that's going to be a hard one because you don't really prepare for that part. You're always trying to mitigate it so that it doesn't come, or if it does happen, it's the least amount possible.
Because a lot of it I would think is, because we see it in a lot of sports, I would guess as an Olympian, you got the Olympics once every 4 years. So you train your whole time. Now, sickness, obviously, people, and then you got to worry about, you can't take Sudafeds or whatever because they might be on the ban list, and now you're going to fail your drug test. So that sucks. But when you look at it, like, Olympics are obviously the epitome of athletics, but, in the NHL, you get to the playoffs, your goal is that. And it's like, I'm going to try. And there's, I don't know if there's mechanisms to just block out the pain sensories or not. Like some people we've heard some people are just, they can play through pain better than others, right? Like there's a certain, if you have a torn, like let's say a broken ankle, I don't think you can play basketball. You can't really run on it, right? Like there's certain things you just physically can't play through, but some players are like separated shoulders in hockey. Some guys played through it. Now maybe they froze it, but then after that, Lori, like it's just a pain thing. So did you ever do anything to train mentally to just kind of learn how to deal with the pain and not let it slow you down or hesitate?
I think when you're training through the pain, Jason, is like when you're either going longer than you're used to, or you're lifting a lot more than you're used to, or doing multiple more reps. Some people physiology wise are able to go beyond what is like humanly thought of. And other people are just like, yeah, no, they feel a little twitches. They're like tapping out. I'm like done. And it all depends on the person. If you've got a strain or an injury, some of them you can actually work through. You can actually play through. Other ones, there's just like, there's no way, like a ruptured appendix or an appendix, like once you're operated, that's it. A broken ankle, a broken arm, you've got to let it heal to a certain point. You can have braces, you can be taped up certain ways. I think yesterday I was listening to a segment with Lowetide, and no, it was in the morning, on the crazy hours in the morning. And this one football guy, he had his athletic trainer take a bicycle tire because he had injured his hamstring. And somehow he tied it to his leg or his glutes and his calf. And I was trying to visualize this, but he said he wasn't even thinking about it. He said he felt totally fine, and he actually made the plays. And I was thinking, holy cow, okay, this is absolutely crazy. But the athletic trainers, some of them can tape you up. They can get you into a position where no, it mitigates the pain, it releases it, or it takes your mind off of it so that you can go and finish your training, finish your play, do your event, or do your shift.
Yeah, it's just I wonder, like, we've talked a lot about like improving your mental focus, but improving your mental, like you talk about, hey, you throw something unexpected at someone, how they handle it. And, you probably could do that in practice with kids sometimes. And all of a sudden the coach comes in and takes the puck. It's like, well, what are you doing? And it's like, hey, sometimes you're not going to you can't just react that way. You got to be like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Boom, I got to go. But like the mental toughness of, oh man, this is hard. I'm going up against somebody who's bigger and stronger than me. It's not always about injuries. It's about figuring that out. And is there ways for kids, to create, like we want to get stronger physically all the time. I get it. But how do you get stronger mentally for kids to just not give up?
I think number one, you just got to be hungry, and you just got to override it. And it's just, when you were talking there, I was thinking about when I started cycling and Clary Hughes showed up. This is, when she was focused totally on the cycling part, when she wasn't doing the speed skating. But she would show up and everybody would just absolutely be crushed, Jason. Like mentally, we would be crushed because it's like, oh, well, Clara's here. So she's just going to go and take away the race. And when you do that, what happens is, you've taken away your greatness, your power, your ability to go and do what you do. And I think that's one of the hardest things is it doesn't matter. Like if you're playing football and, the top players are there, look at it as an opportunity. And you got to take it as an opportunity and go, hey, how could I bring my game, my play, my level up to that level where all of us could soar, but where I could learn something new or try something new or push myself beyond what was my last known effort or ability, whatever that is. And it's a stupid head game that we all go through is, can I do it? Yes, I can. And sometimes you just got to talk yourself through it. And especially with kids, the mantra, the phrases that you're saying is, what can you say that would bring the kids back and put them on top of the world so they go, yeah, I think I can, right? It's let's go out and do it.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair. Just kind of always curious about, if there are things to work on, improving our mental focus is one thing, but mental toughness and just saying, well, just go for it. Well, you can't really now maybe it's just instilled in someone, but I've always wondered if, people have been able to get faster and they get stronger. Can they get more into it? Right? Can they get more? Can they get hungrier? Right?
Yep. And you know what, Jason? It's a feeling. And you can tell when somebody doesn't have it, and you can tell when somebody does. And when they've got it, you're just like, it's game over. You're crushed. So the question becomes, can you stand up? Can you step up to the plate and just take it up 1% more? Because it's not like you got to do 10% or 50% more. All you got to do is take it up 1% more every time. Can you push yourself 1% more? Could you think 1% better? And just that little bit every day is going to move you up to a whole new level in a week, in a month, in 3 months, and in a season. And the thing is like, if you're not videoing it, if you don't have photos, if you don't have mechanisms for measuring it, the kids won't know how far they've come, how far they've grown, right? Like when you have kids, you mark them on the wall of, okay, well, in September you're this high, and then October you're this high, January you're this high, and you can actually see their growth. But for the kids, sometimes you have to give them a tangible because they just don't understand the intangible because you can't see it. It's invisible. And there's a feeling that goes with it. The kids that have it, and the kids that don't have it.
Lauriane, great stuff. Have yourself an awesome weekend, and we'll chat with you next Friday.
You bet. Have a good weekend.
There you go. That's Lauriane Munzer. Joins us every Friday here in Sports 1440. I'm just kind of curious, like, playing through pain, man. Like it's easy. Well, just block it out, right? That's like saying to your kid, hey, you know what, mom or dad, something happened. Well, just don't worry about it. Well, it's not that easy. It's not how it works.
When you were talking about training for mental toughness, I was thinking about Earl Woods training Tiger. Have you ever heard the stories of how when Tiger was coming up in minor golf, or junior golf rather, he would like jiggle his keys or yell at him in his backswing.
Yeah.
And he was actually training his mental toughness so that when he went out in front of a gallery, nothing affected him.
Yeah.
That's an instance where someone's getting mentally tougher.
Yeah, well, that's just learning to block out the noise, right? Like that's kind of like mentally focused, I would think, right? Because you just block it out.
Oh, I see.
Right. But you're right. Like they, which is funny because didn't Tiger one time like freak out when someone was talking in his backswing?
But I would argue that like he had 10 deep galleries since he was 16.
Oh yeah. Oh no, 100%. Yeah. Like, hey, I've only ever hit a golf ball once with people lined up on either side of me. Now, I never trained for that. I was just like, oh my God. Like I was focusing, okay, when I'm standing, all I was focused on was just hit the ball straight. Cause I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to shank and I'm going to hurt someone. Right. Cause I was like, what are you people doing? Get the hell out of the way. I'm a chunk golfer. Like I didn't want to say that out loud, but that's what I'm thinking. Right. That was when I golfed with Chichi Rodriguez. And I'm just like, they're all lined up. It's like literally you're lined up. You got everybody's there. Like, on the green, like sometimes when my buddies play, even though my buddies are like, I got some buddies who are really good golfers. I've never seen them off the tee. I never line up in front of them. I'm always behind them. So I could not believe that people were doing that.
When did you play golf with Chichi Rodriguez?
Oh, I got the card, the golf card with him. 2000 and I want to say like 5 or 6.
Was it awesome?
Oh, buddy, it was unbelievable.
Did he sword fight?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, he did a demonstration first. And like he could hit any club. Like it was wild what he could do. Like, he'd slice and then fade on purpose, no problem, right? He could hit your driver from 200 yards like it would be an iron, no problem. But the best trick I've ever seen, and I wish I didn't have a phone that had a camera on it back then, right? Like barely had like the old flip phone, cell phone. So he's saying, watch this. So he takes, and it was a 7-iron. Right. And so he hits the first one. So it's, whatever. If you hit to your left and it comes back in the middle, then the other one he hits to the right and it comes and he crosses them in down like 150 yards. And they crossed in air. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. And he goes, no. Does it again. They hit.
What?
Yes. 150 yards in the air. I was like, oh my God, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen on a golf course. Like nothing will ever come close to it. And then I talked to him about, because, everybody remembers him as a sword fighter. But I remember him talking about, hey, you know what? How was golf there? And he's like, he golfed with Trevino and Nicholas and all those guys. And he's like, man, I just wasn't as good of a putter. And in my head, I'm like, what? I always thought, like, when I think of Chichi Rodriguez, I thought of him as a putter because, well, yeah, that's what I had to do to distract everybody from how bad of a putter I was. But we're golfing, and this guy's draining like from 25 feet. He goes, yeah, well, these greens are nothing, right? Like, because the greens and the undulation on the Pro Tour were very different. But in his words, his putter wasn't good enough, to cut off 3-4 strokes would be the difference in winning the tournament. Yeah, it was fascinating. He was an unbelievable guy.
Levels to the game at every level in the game.
Yeah.
Right? Like you see Chichi, he's like, I'm nothing. I can't.
Yeah.
Like Nicholas. Like, oh my God.
Well, you look in the NHL and you're like, you would take NHL players to come to an average rink with a bunch. You could put them with the Golden Bears, right? 4th line guys, 3rd line guys with the Golden Bears, and they'd school them. But they're in the NHL and McDavid schools them, right? Like there's, even in the pros, there's always still somebody a little bit better.
I remember seeing Bucky long after he'd retired playing a game of very competitive men's league. And at like 2% effort, Bucky was so good. Like every player in the NHL is so good compared to the average junior player.
Oh God. Yeah. It's, I think people would be kind of surprised by it, to be honest. Right. Like just how quick they skate, how hard they shoot, just so many different things. Quick break. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Road trips, job sites, daily commutes. No matter where you drive, you need a team that keeps you rolling. Fountain Tire does more than just tires. Their expert technicians handle everything from alignments to brakes, shocks, and full mechanical services. Book your service today, fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Just 3 games on the schedule tonight in the NHL. 2 games at 5. You got the Hawks and the Capitals, and the Red Wings up against the Hurricanes. Then at 5:30, Minnesota heads to New York to take on the Islanders in the WHL. The Edmonton Oilers are in action out in PA, taking on the Raiders. Game 5. They currently lead 3-1. That gets going at 7 o'clock. In the BCHL, playoffs get going tonight. Sherwood Park and Salmon Arm taking on the Silverbacks. The Spruce Grove Saints announcing that they parted ways with head coach Ryan Marsh. He's been with the organization as the head coach since 2023. And in the AJ divisional finals, Whiteport hosting Grand Prairie and Drumheller and Calgary. Both those games start at 7 in the association. The Raptors in action tonight, taking on the Detroit Pistons. You also have the Jazz in Indiana, Hornets up against the Kings. Celtics host the Suns. Thunder in Houston. Spurs up against the Cavaliers. Nuggets take on the Warriors. And it's the Lakers hosting the Pelicans. Major League Baseball, the Jays in action. Earlier today, they fell to the Mets 5-0. You also have the Cubs getting past the Padres 3-1. Red Sox over the Cards 13-9. Later tonight, Angels, Guardians, Reds in Milwaukee. Rangers taking on the Rays, and the Orioles up against Kansas City. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Craig Button from the NHL and TSN. Here, Cam Tate's 2-minute warning and ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquessential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need, all powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired. Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Bashaw Concrete Products.
It's like if you're not videoing it, if you don't have photos, if you don't have
yourself an awesome weekend, call now for your free quote on the highest
bet.
quality
Have a good
ready mix
weekend.
and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank. Plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Bashaw Concrete Products. 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com.
Blue Jays baseball is back on Sports 1440. This Saturday and Sunday, listen live to the broadcast of Canada's favorite team. Proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball. We are Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team at Old Strathcona has special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Wine Gretz with you, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. The Gregor Show was always presented by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca. They got the new app, easier to play. Just remember, if you do play, use your Game Sense. Go to GameSense AB.ca and learn more. It's right on, or just go to PlayAlberta.ca and you'll see it right on the front page. Always important. A lot of text coming in, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, I saw Chi-Chi at Dorchester do that same trick. It was amazing from Len. Well, Len, that's where I was playing with him, was at Dorchester. Yeah, right by Black Bull.
That's where you go when you can't play Black Bull. I go play Dorchester because it's easier.
Yeah.
That's where Chi-Chi played.
Yeah.
Was it like an exposition?
No, it was, I can't even remember the connection, but I just remember that I got invited through one of my sponsors, and like, not invited, was like, hey, Greg, do you want to play with him? And I'm like, dude, like, I'm not that great of a golfer. Like, I can shoot mid-80s at best, like, that's kind of what it is. He's like, oh yeah, no problem. And so, but I just thought, okay, this will be a fun round. But they had people out there and stuff, and he's doing his exhibition, right? And they do that first, and then you go play. And that's when we're on the first hole, and there's people lined up both sides. And I was just like, oh man, this is, I've never been more excited to hit a straight ball in my life.
You hit it with all the pressure?
Oh, yeah. No, I hit it straight right down the pipe. It was pretty good. And I was just like, I don't care. After that, there are not going to be that many people watching. And by the way, no one's ever going to be that far ahead anyway, like right down. Because if it's different, if they're standing by the green and, you're sitting there from 150, and all of a sudden you push it a little right or left, you can yell, hey, 4, and people, got a better chance. You're on the tee. You crush one, and trust me, it would not be outside of my golf abilities to just shank one right down the right side. So thankfully that didn't happen. But it was, honestly, it was like from a golf day, like just seeing him hit the ball, and you're just like, oh my, like every shot, it was amazing. Like so good, so smooth.
When players hit balls into the gallery, you remember that it's a sport. Like you're at the Masters and it's beautiful.
Oh, like Justin Rose. Yeah, did you see Justin Rose? Yeah, Justin Rose looked like all of us. And the hilarious part was he was in the fairway and he just hooked her right deep. And the best part is like adding insult to injury. So you're on the screen and, usually they have like that blue line that shows where the ball's going. And the blue line's just like way into the trees. I was dying laughing at that part. So he crushed it in the trees. Like, oof.
Or then in the gallery, then you got to go and apologize. The person in the gallery just smoked with a 3-wood.
But the other thing I don't like about the pros, so they're on tour and the guy gets off the, let's say he's playing and he's off the fairway and he's in the rough a bit. Well, you got everybody standing there and they're like, oh, here's your ball. Bunch of schmucks are out there playing and your ball, sometimes you're a foot off the fairway and you can't find it. It's just annoying. I'm like, why am I taking a stroke right now? This is a joke. We should need some spotters. That would cut down a lot of strokes.
When you play it, though, into the gallery and then you got to go in and everybody's had to move and the guy with the lawn chairs had to move it over, that's got to be pressure.
Yeah, but I always find it interesting, like the people in the gallery, and I get it, like they're the pros, so they're going to stand there, but I'm like, I'm not standing there. Like the guy just shanked it in here. There's a chance he might do it again.
When they've got the half shots, you can see the difference between the real pro golfers and this average Joes. Like when they're hitting a recovery shot out of the trees and they have to rope a 4-iron around a big trunk or something. It's incredible how they can shape their shots to get out of trouble.
Well, yeah, no, the best part of golfers, it's all about your second shot, right? Because your second shot sets up everything, your ability to score, except on a par 3, of course. Right. But on a par 4 and a par 5, like, even if you're off the fairway in your second shot, oh, boom, look at this guy. Now he's all of a sudden, you're either going to get a par, 2 putt for par. Now you're putting for birdie. Maybe you're going for eagle. Makes such a big difference. Yeah. Like driving's important, of course, but it just like to score great. It's your second shot for sure.
Chichi Rodriguez thinking up the sword fighting to distract from his actual putting.
It's unbelievable, man.
It's genius.
It is genius. So, well, he was a character, his little bit of personality, had something fun, and people remembered him because of it, right? There's no doubt about that. Like, think about it. First thing, Chicho, I just thought he was a sword fighter. Do you remember? You don't have a lot of those kind of personalities on the tour right now today. Let's get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. They are hiring, looking for HVAC installers and plumbers. Go to legacyheating.ca. Competitive wages. You got a hiring bonus. Also, RSP matching, tuition reimbursement, and you get to work for a great company, legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, of course, longtime journalist in town. Cam's in a wheelchair, has cerebral palsy, and his disability didn't allow him to be on the radio until now, where we take his words to the wonders of technology, and they come to life.
This has to be a surprise. Has to be. No if, ands, or buts, as in if you smoke. Okay, sorry. Okay, for the 7th place. Edmonton Oil Kings to roll into Prince Albert. Yesterday, up 3-1 as their opening best-of-7 series against the... Listen closely to these next 2 words. 2nd place. Say it again with me, 1 time. 2nd place. Raiders is surprising, yes, but not a fluke. By hard work, skill, and by shooting at everything, as in 116 shots. 3 games. The effort put forward by the Oil Kings has to be noted here, and the pace of play. That in itself has to be mentioned. In games 3 and 4 in Edmonton, the Oil Kings seemed to have more jump than the Raiders. Sure did, Gregor. Now, to suggest the series will wind up tonight? No, Connor Halley. Just look to game 2 in Prince Albert. Last Saturday, the Raiders took it to the Oil Kings pretty good. 6-1. So being back on home ice is huge. And we have to wonder how Oil King forward Lucas Sachin is after the rookie slammed hard into the boards after scoring the first Edmonton goal Wednesday. To be clear, this series, it ain't. Love saying ain't over on the radio. Over? Should there be a game 6? Sunday at Rogers Place, but if you're an Edmonton Oil King fan, you have to be pleasantly surprised at where things sit. And if you're so inclined, smoke on that. 2-minute warning with me. Tater, Gregor Show, Monday, Friday, Sports, 1440.
Yeah, the Old Kings in PA tonight, man. That's an awesome barn for playoff action. Standing room only. They're on the milk crates. Love it. The Old Kings in control of the series right now, 3-1. Obviously, you want to finish it off as quick as you can, but if they can't do it tonight, then Game 6 will be Sunday, 4 p.m. at Rogers, and should be a heck of a game. Hey, boys, remember when Bubba Watson shot out of the trees with like a 90-degree angle curve on the ball and it landed on the island green, and he actually then followed it up with a pitcher from that? That was a ridiculous shot.
To an island green, too, of all things.
Yeah. That just to add, a little bit of, hey, I'm pretty good to it. That's how you do it. Hey, boys, I'm just getting off work. What's the update on the injuries? So here's the update. Draisaitl got injured. He told Mark Spector the injury occurred when he was hit by Gaudreau, right? That was in the first period. You watch him he stumbled, then he fell backwards. So then he stayed in the game. It had nothing to do with stepping on the puck behind the net. And then he left. And no concerns about him being ready for the playoffs. They're calling it short term, according to Knobloch, but Draisaitl will not play tomorrow. He's not going to play in Anaheim on Monday for sure. And then after that, we'll see. The Oilers, of course, then play Wednesday, Friday next week at home. Then they've got a road game Sunday in Winnipeg, home to the Kings on the Monday. And then they wrap things up that's Monday the 14th, and they wrap their season up the 16th in San Jose. Trent Frederick skated today on a line with Henrique and Hyman in a full contact jersey. And Knobloch said there's, quote, a slight chance he plays tomorrow. The goal, it always was that they thought maybe Monday, so we'll see if he goes tomorrow. If not, the Oilers currently only have 11 healthy forwards. Connor McDavid's not ready to play. Kane obviously not going to go. Klingberg and Ekholm are back in Edmonton. They're not ready yet, so they can't even go 11-7. And in order to recall a forward, they wouldn't qualify for an emergency recall because the only reason they're doing it is because they don't have the cap space to call anybody up. So you have to then sit out one or play 19 skaters for one game. Then you could get an emergency recall. So that won't happen in time for tomorrow. The other option would be, though, they could put Trent Frederick retroactive on LTIR for 10 games because he's been on for more than 10. So you could do that retroactive, and then you could still activate him again for the game on Monday in Anaheim. And then they most likely would recall Derek Ryan if they do that. So those are their options. Either Frederick's going to play, or I could see them moving him to LTIR, retroactive, and then recall Derek Ryan. That's how I see it. So that's the update on the injuries for the Oilers. So I guess it's good news that it's nothing long-term for Draisaitl, but obviously, I can understand Oilers fans. You're a little concerned. It's like, oh my goodness, the guys are just injured all the time. And more often, a little bit more than usual. And it just seems to be, piling up right now because there's so many. It's McDavid and it's Skinner and it's Frederick and it's Ekholm and, Kane's skating, but he's not playing. And now it's Draisaitl again, right? You had 3 games without Draisaitl and McDavid, but Ekholm was playing in that. He played in the game against Dallas where they played really well and lost. And then the next night, Ekholm didn't play in Seattle, didn't make the trek. They didn't want to play him back-to-back, and he hasn't played since. So, the Oilers, they've definitely had some injuries, but in the 12 games without McDavid this year, the Oilers are 8-4. That's a points percentage of .666, which is actually higher than their points percentage in their other 63 games, which is .611. So they've actually done very well without Connor McDavid. Now, it helps when you got a guy by the name of Leon Draisaitl who has 7 goals and 16 points in the 9 games without McDavid. But everybody else has stepped up. Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, Skinner, Arvidsson, Bouchard, Nurse. Like, if you look in the full 12 games without McDavid, and 3 of those was without Draisaitl, Bouchard has 11 assists. Nurse has 8 assists. Nugent Hopkins and Hyman each have 6 goals and 3 assists. Arvidsson has 5 goals. Henrique has 5 points. Jeff Skinner has 4. Like, they've been getting, Wallman has 4 points in the 5 games without those, without McDavid or Draisaitl. So it's been pretty impressive. And I think in a weird way, I think the injuries, if the guys are healthy come playoff time, I actually think these injuries are going to make the Oilers a better team.
Darnell Nurse suffers a lot of slings and arrows on Oilers X. He's having a great year.
Yeah. Well, it's been pretty quiet this year. Anybody who's ripping on Darnell Nurse this year is just because they don't like him. And that's fine. You're allowed to not like a player. But anybody who's been ripping on Nurse for any extended period of time isn't paying attention.
I think we're quick to rip on players when they're playing badly, but you don't give them the commensurate flowers when they're having a good season. He's having a great year.
It totally is. When we come back, Craig Button will join us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You know how you look forward to all your favorite sports coming back in the spring? Soccer, baseball, golf. Well, GS Construction looks forward to getting back to work with the warmer weather. We're all excited and geared up for this very busy time of year. The groundbreaking season is upon us, and GS Construction is ready to roll with all sorts of new projects. Projects that help the community and make the place we live in better. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodle oodle-noodle.ca. Oodle-noodle.
The Alzheimer's Face-Off presented by Christensen Communities Limited hits the ice April 25th to 27th. This Edmonton-based tournament pairs hockey fans with some of their favorites from the NHL Alumni Association for a fun-filled weekend featuring a Champions Luncheon and Tournament. Teams are already fundraising in the community, enabling the Alzheimer's Society of Alberta and Northwest Territories to continue providing help for today through free education programs and support services, and hope for tomorrow through research. For more information or to learn how you can get involved, visit alzheimersfaceoff.ca.
Volvo Cars Edmonton invites you to their biggest sale of the year. The March showroom event is on now. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 1.99% and save $3,500. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,500. Lease or finance a 2024 XC40 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $2,500. Don't miss the March showroom event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
RV Wars hits the north side, April 3rd to 6th. Go RV, Vision RV, and Arcan RV have joined forces for RV Wars. Take advantage of pre-tariff pricing on travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes, and more. The last of the 2024 models are being cleared out. Make no payments for 6 months OAC. Now is the time to buy with special discounted finance rates. Free admission with a donation to the food bank. RV Wars this weekend on the north side, 9603 165 Avenue. Visit rvwars.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, one congrats with you. Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. The guys, wouldn't Philp come up over Ryan? Well, they could do that. Like, you could recall anybody. I was just using Derek Ryan because I think there's two things at play. The Condors are in a huge race for the last playoff spot, and they're 1 point back at Tucson. They have 2 games in hand. They play Tucson tomorrow night and Sunday. So if you took somebody off their roster, well, now you're weakening their chance to win that game Saturday night. For a 1 game to play fourth line minutes in Edmonton, would it be worth it when you could just do that with Derek Ryan? Like, is the gap between Ryan and Philp that much of a difference maker for 1 game for the Oilers that it hurts the Condors? Probably not. So that's how I would see it in that regard. Let's go around the NHL. Brought to you by McDonald's. And a reminder, they are the newest burger. I think it's their best one. The Big Arch, made with 2 100% Canadian beef patties, delicious sauce, and all the McDonald's flavor that you love. Connor Halley and I agree. I think it's their best burger. Check it out. The Big Arch. As we welcome back to the show, Stanley Cup winner, former NHL GM and scout, ace analyst and scout for TSN, Craig Button joins us. Butts, how you doing?
I am doing really well, Jason. How are you doing?
Hey, great. Quickly, we'll get to the NHL in a sec. And a question, because I got a lot of texters. You better ask Button this. So I got a lot of requests to ask you. But Gavin McKenna's off to an unreal start to the playoffs. Great run to the end of the regular season, Craig. I'd heard some rumblings. Lots of NCAA teams are trying to get him. They did get Caden Lidstrom to go. What's the latest you've heard on McKenna? Is he going to stay?
I do not know.
Okay.
I wish I could inform you and everything. I will say this. I think that the Western Hockey League missed a big opportunity. And I'm not saying it would have changed anything, but the Medicine Hat Tigers are built for this year. They're a hell of a team. They're built for next year, too. And I know they were one of the bidders for the Memorial Cup. And Kelowna will do a great job. but their team isn't very good. They have massive work just to make the playoffs next year.
Yeah.
And I think that hosting a Memorial Cup might have been an enticement that might have been pretty good for Gavin McKenna, even maybe Caden Lidstrom. Who knows? I don't want to. I'm just saying that, when you're trying to incentivize players, whether it be with NIL money, right, or like the NCAA is doing, or with the promise of a Memorial Cup, you got to try to do your best. And so I think like I said, I'm not trying to diminish Bruce Hamilton and the Kelowna Rockets because they're excellent. I think that Medicine Hat, number one, storied franchise, great facility, great opportunity, and you have this team that is going to be good.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think there's a massive miss, and because I've heard that the McKenna is maybe opting to stay, which I think would be great for him, great for the league, and away you go. Now, Craig, I've had lots of Oilers fans. They watch you on TSN, and they want to know more in depth why you like the Kings more than the Oilers right now, as far as a team to win that series.
Real simple. The Oilers, they have fallen off significantly since even before the Four Nations break. And yeah, they've had some games where they've been pretty good, but their play and offensively, defensively has fallen off. Last year, it just kept building and building and building and building. And it was even building when they were on that great, magnificent run earlier this year. And prior to, and then probably, why don't we just use February 1st as an example? And I'm just saying if you look from February 1st till now, it's been a significant dip, and it's a dip that I think hurts them. I don't think their team is as good as it was last year. I think the LA Kings are a better team this year. I think if you start in goal, you go to the blue line. Yeah, they don't have McDavid and they don't have Draisaitl. That goes without saying, and those are game changers. But at the same time, I think they're deeper. I think they're bigger. I think they're better equipped to beat the Edmonton Oilers. That's my rationale.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll agree to disagree on that one. But that's why we like to. If we all agreed, that would be pretty boring.
It would be. Yeah. So why do you disagree?
Well, it's funny. In their last since March 1st, the Kings are 12-5-1. The Oilers are 10-5-1. They've just played 2 fewer games than LA, and that's without McDavid. The Oilers are actually 8-4 without McDavid in the lineup, which is to me pretty remarkable considering it's actually a better points percentage than when he's with the lineup. And I'm not saying they're better without him, of course, but I think the Oilers, when you put in all their injuries lately, Ekholm, Draisaitl, McDavid, everything else, and the Oilers are still winning, and they haven't had Trent Frederick play yet. They're going to get Kane. Even if only Kane's a fourth line winger, he's better than what their fourth line winger is right now. And that makes him bigger and more aggressive. And I don't think LA matches up as good as Anze Kopitar is. He's not McDavid. Byfield's not Draisaitl, and strength down the middle. I think when push comes to shove, that's what's going to be the difference for the Oilers.
Yeah, it very well could be. It very well could be. But yeah, and that's fair. And then people say, why would you bet against Draisaitl and McDavid? I'm not betting against those guys. I never would. I'm betting against the Oilers.
Yeah. And that's what, hey, you know what? 4 times in a row, it'll make it interesting. It'll be fun. The Kings, obviously, tomorrow, I put them as the favorite. No McDavid, no Draisaitl, no Ekholm, no Skinner, no Kane. Maybe a Frederick, but we'll see. Now, what about the Dallas Colorado series? And I know that, people are thinking, hey, there's still a chance that Dallas could catch Winnipeg. And I get that theoretically there is, but it seems like, a little bit of a long shot, especially after that. The Jets looked great last night against Vegas. Dallas, Colorado, Craig, if they meet, who do you like in that series?
Yeah, no Heiskanen.
Yeah.
Right. So
let's assume he's in though.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that he will be.
Yeah, I know. I talked to Jim Nill.
And I'm not trying to. I'm not a doctor. I'm not here. I don't want to speculate. So, okay, if they're in, their chances are a lot better. If he's not in, I think they have massive problems because the right side defense isn't very good. It's not very good at all. And I don't like it. And Heiskanen can do a lot of the heavy lifting. We know how many minutes he can play. I think the right side defense becomes a real problem. Now, that being said, I think after 7 and 8 in Colorado, that would be Taves and Makar. That blue line in Colorado isn't very good. I think it's real weak. And so can the Dallas Stars take advantage of a weaker blue line? Can the Colorado Avalanche take advantage of a weaker right side and absent Heiskanen? Yeah, they can. So what does it come down to? I think it comes down to the goaltending. And now you have Ottinger, who has got his team deep into the playoffs. Blackwood and Wedgwood have been really good for this team. You start to try to think, okay, where could the edge go? It's a fine line. But I will say this, Jason. Like, I don't think anybody wants to play the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah.
And I think the St. Louis Blues right now are playing at a level that is not accidental. They're I know 11 in a row. I mean, that's going to bust. We know that. But I just like the way they've been playing. And for a long time, not just in these last 11 games. So back to Dallas, Colorado, I think that because you have Makar and Taves on the blue line, and if there's no Heiskanen, I give the edge to Colorado.
It will be a heck of a series. And I agree with you wholeheartedly on Dallas's defense on the right side if they don't have Heiskanen. Like Ibushkin, and it's not that he's a bad player, he's just not a top pair defenseman. And when you ask guys to play in a position that they're just, guys can do it for 1 or 2 games, I think. I just think the longer you ask them, the harder it is to fill that gap. And so that to me is the challenge. Moving out east, Craig, because we got the 8 teams in the West. We know who it's going to be. It's just going to be a matter of where they finish. Montreal and the Rangers, and God love Columbus, but I think that loss last night, that might be a little too much to overcome later. You never know. But the Canadiens and the Rangers, the Canadiens, it's funny how the Rangers are looked upon as like a real disappointment and totally valid, whereas the Canadiens like, oh my God, this is a great success story. We love it. Who do you think finishes it off, and what's impressed you most about this Canadian surprising run?
Yeah, I think the Montreal Canadiens have impressed me the most. They went through a 5-game stretch where they gave up 22 goals, and it looked like curtains. And then they found a way on the front end of that, then on the back end of that, to put together some wins. And beating Florida, like in Florida, after what I would call a real disappointing game in Philadelphia. You got to beat those teams, and that's 2 points. And then it was going to be tough for them to win in Carolina, even without that game the night before in Philly. But they played really well against Florida, and then they had a little bit of magic. And you'll recall this, Jason, in the 2009 World Junior Tournament, it looked like it was curtains for Team Canada. A little shot from the point, squirts through Dmitry Kulikov's legs, goes right to Jordan Eberle. They tie the game. They win it in a shootout. They end up winning the gold medal. Montreal Canadiens are not going to win a Stanley Cup. But I watched that game the other night. Hudson lobs the puck to the net. It squirts through Sam Reinhart's legs, right to Nick Suzuki. They tie the game. They win it in overtime. Sometimes there's a little magic in the air. And I think for the Montreal Canadiens, there's magic in the air. And Suzuki, Caulfield, Hudson, Montembeault, there's enough really good sustained play throughout their group that I think allows them to get in the playoffs.
The Toronto Maple Leafs had a huge win. They've clinched a playoff spot. They got a 3-point lead on Tampa. They got a 4-point lead on Florida. They each have 7 games remaining. The Leafs have a regulation tiebreaker over the Panthers. They got those 2 games next week, back to back. One night against the Lightning, one night against the Panthers. I think we've talked all year long, Craig, that for Toronto, out of those 3 teams, they're probably the one who needs it. Selfishly, I want them to finish first because then they play Ottawa, great rivalry, and then Tampa plays Florida, which should be a hell of a series. What do you make of the Leafs? And is it impossible to know until we get to the playoffs to see if their big guys are going to show up? Like John Tavares has had an unreal run here down the stretch. Mitch Marner's playing great, but doesn't matter if they can't at least maintain their same production or augment it like the other superstars around the league have done recently. Have you seen anything that makes you believe that the big guns in Toronto will be better in the playoffs this time?
Yeah, but you always want to believe that players learn from their previous experiences. And, Matthews was brilliant in the Four Nations face-off. Marner was excellent. You hope that those experiences can translate into the playoffs. Now, that being said, I think that Toronto finishing in first spot is a real benefit because you get Ottawa. You don't have to play Tampa Bay or Florida, who I don't think Toronto matches up very well against them. So does that give you an opportunity now to kind of build your confidence offensively, to get on a roll? And Ottawa's a pretty darn good defensive team, but they, getting into the playoffs for the first time, not being there, not having done that like Florida and Tampa Bay, I think that can work to Toronto's advantage. And that might be just a little type of a matchup, just that thing that kind of spurs you on, that springboards you on to more success. I don't like their defensive play, Jason, right now. In the past, their defensive play was pretty good and the offense dried up. I don't like their defensive play. I think they're susceptible to the forecheck, to the cycle, and they don't protect the middle of the ice in front of the net and the slot all that well. And you can talk about Stolars and Woll, and I think it's a two-headed monster in the net there, but I think that's a bigger concern. Now, again, if you play Ottawa, I think that gives you a chance to kind of build that offensive confidence, let the other two teams beat each other up, take chunks out of one another, and maybe that, like I said, springboards you. But I don't have I think the Leafs really, really need first place in the division to give themselves a better chance. I don't like their chances in the first round if they got to play Florida or Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I think it's plus, this way you might only have to face one of them in the first two rounds, where if you go second or third, most likely you might have to face one in each of the first two rounds. So it just, makes it a little easier. Although I'm not sold Ottawa will be an easy out by any stretch, but Ottawa is going to need to get Brady Tkachuk for sure. If Brady Tkachuk is nicked up, he's kind of the heart and soul of that team. I think that'll be very tough for them. What about the Capitals, Craig? This, the Ovi chase has been something they talked about all year long. They've been good. They had a little bit of a blip here, but I look at this Capitals team and man, I like a lot of the makeup of their team. Have we undervalued the Capitals? Or is there anything about their game that concerns you? Because they're most likely, they're going to face whoever it is, Montreal, the Rangers, and then the Hurricanes, because I give the Devils no chance over Carolina.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jason, on that. I think the Caps are a really well-balanced team. I think they're skilled. I think they have enough. They have lots of offense. Their defense is good. Logan Thompson right now being out of the lineup, I think they need a healthy Logan Thompson. He's had some stretches where injuries have prevented him from being able to play. Certainly in 2023 versus Vegas, that was an issue. And I think for this team, their top six scorers are their top six forwards. They got depth. They've added Ryan Leonard, who's going to be a real good addition to that team. The blue line is steady. I think they're built to get to the Eastern Conference Final, and I think that they've done a heck of a job in there with the way they've built their team and where they're at. And I don't know if people are. If you're underestimating Washington at this point in the season, I think it would be a reflection on yourself of having not watched them, because that's a good team.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Craig, as always, man, good to catch up with you. Oiler fans, I'm sure they'll be getting lots of notes on Twitter, Craig. You're firing up the Oiler fans. They love it. So, or we love it. They don't necessarily love it, but that's great. Hey, if we all agreed all the time, it'd be pretty freaking boring. So I'm just looking forward to the series.
Yeah, it's always good. And let me just make a quick comment here and to the family and the many friends of Bruce McCurdy, somebody that was passionate about hockey, passionate about trying to deliver different vantage points from data and from observation to hockey fans. Somebody that was followed very closely, and certainly thinking of his family and loved ones and many, many friends in the hockey world. A real significant loss for everybody.
Really appreciate that, Craig. Thanks so much. Have yourself an awesome day.
You too.
That's Craig Button from TSN. Quick break. We'll come back. 5 questions on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Mountain Tire. Our focus is taking care of your vehicle. Your focus? Saving up to 25% off select tires. Plus, getting up to a $120 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 select tires until April 26th. So we both win. Mountain Tire. We're on this road together.
This is going to make you hungry. Booster Juice just dropped new guacamole and black bean grilled fresh options.
What the guac?
Yeah, a guacamole black bean wrap, guacamole chicken panini, and an egg and chipotle black bean wrap.
What a trio! Holy guacamole!
Bye-bye, boring as bread sandwiches.
Guac, yeah! New flavors, new cravings.
Avocado up to wraps and paninis from Booster Juice. Canadian-born blending since 1999. Download the Booster Rewards app and order one today.
Is it Riverside Motorsports?
No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong.
Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Spring into savings at The Brick. Refresh your home with huge discounts. Get up to 35% off sofas and sectionals and up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. Dreaming of better sleep? Upgrade your mattress game. Get a king for the price of a queen on select mattresses. Plus, save the tax when you buy 3 or more major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, proudly Canadian since 1971.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with the tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
At McDonald's, there are new breakfast sandwiches with a secret ingredient.
A secret ingredient?
It's a little sweet, born in the cold, cradled by spring.
Gotcha. It's maple.
Well, yes, but let me finish. It's made
with 100% Canadian maple syrup?
Right again. It's a brand new smoky maple sauce featured in...
Oh, some new McD's breakfast sandwiches.
And you can try it
before 11 a.m. only.
Wow, you're good at this.
I know what I like. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
For a limited time at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
First of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all of your residential water needs, your local water treatment company. More than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Down as well, the Saints have parted ways with head coach Ryan Marsh, so they will be looking for a head coach. So you know what, fairly attractive team. There'll be a lot of coaches applying for that gig, and Ryan, good coach. Hey, you know what? As every coach will tell you, you're hired to be fired at some point, unfortunately. And I'm sure he will land on his feet somewhere else. So I wish Ryan Marsh, who was on our show many times, all the best in what the next chapter is for him in the coaching ranks. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. Saving you more, that's what they do. And they also really help you get a good sleep at the Brick mattress stores. Go in and see their experts to ensure you get the right mattress so you can get a great sleep. The Brick.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Question number 1. What happens tomorrow in LA? 2 o'clock puck drop. And who's going to step up if and when Leon Draisaitl can't go?
As long as we have the other Connor Brown, I don't really see anybody else having to step up. The other Connor Halley.
Man, it's gonna be really tough for them to win that game. Kings are playing very well, so I'll say the Kings win. Draisaitl's definitely not playing. So, well, hey, I'll say this: Henrique is in the games that both Draisaitl and McDavid didn't play. Adam Henrique stepped up, had 2 goals. He'll have to do it again.
Question number 2: the LA Kings home record, very good, 28-4-4. Why do you think they're so good at home?
Can't really pinpoint any one thing. It's kind of weird. Like they have the best home record in the NHL, but they also have the worst road record amongst playoff teams in the West. So, what does that mean? It's kind of a little bit of an oddity. I think right now it's just a lot of confidence. For sure, we've talked to guys that talked to Bernstein and others. It's not like their coach is going out there out of his way to match lines more. I think right now you just got a confident team, and confidence it's hard to describe sometimes. Where now I'm sure like every time they step out for a pregame, like, baby, we're home, we're gonna win. And the crowd's probably a little bit more juiced up. Like think about it. You're a Kings season ticket holder. They've had 36 games. Only 4 times have they lost in regulation. Now they lost 4 times overtime, shootout, whatever. But so you win 28, you're like, I'm pretty happy. I'm going to the game tonight. So that probably plays a part. And I think you just ride momentum. And right now their momentum on home ice is what's carrying them.
It's that California lifestyle, Connor. It's that sea breeze. You know what I'm saying? Everything's chill on the coast. Might as well win some games.
Disneyland before puck drop. That's how you win games. Question number 3 for you guys. Grizzlies superstar Jason Gregor was fined $75,000 for once again making a gun gesture as a celebration after he was warned to stop it. He, of course, has a history with firearms, was suspended twice in 2023 for off-court incidents. If it keeps up, how do you think the league can find ways to deter it? Do you think it could be a suspension?
This is like the 4th dumb thing Jason Gregor has done by my math. He did the initial having a gun in an IG video. Then he got in big trouble. Then he did it again and got in big trouble. Then he did the finger guns on the court, 3rd thing, and got in trouble. And now a 4th thing. What are you doing, Jason Gregor?
Yeah, it was not smart.
75 grand is not that crazy of a fine for Jason Gregor either.
No, well, that's the problem. I don't like 75K. It's a lot for the average person. For him, it's like whatever. I would have. Now I know they're gonna say, well, it's not really, it's just a finger and it's a gun, but it's just like it's everything else combined with it. So, you know what I'd say? I'm not gonna fine you money. I'm gonna take your time because you can't get time back. You can always make more money. You can't get your time back. So we're gonna you got to go to some like gun awareness thing that goes on. Like I don't even know if there is such a thing, but that's what I would look at. Like. Make him go in there and have to think about it because honestly, he writes the check, or I don't even know how it works as an e-transfer of 75K. Like it doesn't even impact him at all.
Why does he have to do it? Like, what's the upside of this, Jason Gregor? I don't understand. Like just sticking your finger in the eye of the NBA for no reason.
Yeah, it's just because to me, when you're always kind of having to resort to the gun action, like, oh, I'm tough, because deep down you don't feel like you're that tough. Because why do you need the gun? If you're that. Take on Steph Curry, you say, man, let's put the Dukes up. Let's see how tough you are. Like, if you're really that tough, don't give him the gun salute. Like, give me a break.
I like the classic 3s up over the eyes.
Oh, yeah. Or
goggle celebration. That's what I would do if I hit a 3 in the NBA. A random question for you. What happens first? Grey's Anatomy gets canceled, which has been renewed for season 22, or LeBron retires, who is in season 22? And I got to say, I found this on Twitter. I didn't make this question up.
Grey's Anatomy's been around for 22 years. What do they think? They're the Simpsons? Holy cow. Well, LeBron, geez, man, LeBron is in, what is your family in here in the mall today just running around, Wanya? What the hell is going on? I don't know if people can hear that in the back, but yeah, I don't know. It's like there's a bunch of coyotes howling behind us in the mall right now. It's kind of distracting. But,
sounds like ghosts.
I got to go with LeBron. Like, how many more years is he going to have? 2 or 3? Like, if Grey's Anatomy is going for season 22, people obviously still love it. So I guess I'll go LeBron.
The physical demands of putting on a 23rd season of Grey's Anatomy versus the physical demands of LeBron doing another year. I think the acting show is going to win out in the long run. LeBron will retire first. But he wants to play with Bronny, the glasses kid.
How much more can happen? But shout out to the Dr. Gray. She's keeping it going. Final question for you guys. Actor Robert Downey Jr. celebrating his 60th birthday today. Since he was so good in Iron Man, I want to ask you both, who do you think did the best job in their role as a superhero?
Christian Bale as Batman is my favorite of all the superheroes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was pretty good. Who would be mine? Best roles as superhero. I'll be honest, I don't watch a ton of them. So I'm gonna go with Keaton, the original. Well, he wasn't the original Batman, but he's the original Batman of my lifetime. So I'll go with him.
Adam West would like a word.
That's why I said I quickly corrected
Yeah.
myself. He wasn't the original, but of my lifetime he was. So I will go with Keaton.
How about you, Connor?
A deep cut. One of my favorite movies as a kid, I don't know why, was Meteor Man. So Robert Townsend as Meteor Man.
Meteor Man.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, not many people have, but you should go check it out. I used to rent it all the time from the video store by our house when I was like 10 and under. But really, how about Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man?
Never seen
first
it.
two.
Never seen Spider-Man.
The first two are really good. The third one, not quite as good in my opinion.
I've never seen any of the Marvel Universe, Connor. What do you think of that? None.
To be fair, I haven't seen that many either.
Really?
So I can't judge you too much. No.
Some people live for that Marvel Universe. I don't know.
I feel like they're all mostly the same. Like they have a good start. They do some good. They face adversity by a tough boss, lose, and then bounce back to beat them.
Spoiler alert.
That's like the storyline for all of them, I think. So, but they're good entertainment if you got the time.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I could ever commit now to watch. There's just so many. You kind of got to pick your poison on which one. Like you couldn't. I remember once someone was here's and there was like 60. I'm like, dude, I can't do that. Like it's impossible.
Star Wars is getting like that too. There's like all these shows now all of a sudden they've put out and stuff like that. And like, I don't know.
Well, Star Wars has, what is it, 8 or 9? But then there's like the Han Solo one, right? That one's kind of a spin-off.
They're pumping out tons of them now, movies and shows.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Another
Obi-Wan, or wasn't there something like that? Wasn't that a movie?
For the people that have watched them all, what would you say is the best movie connected to the Star Wars empire?
Probably the original OG.
I know, honestly. Like I watch, well, I actually liked Empire Strikes Back. But it's Star Wars, like there's so many things in it that's quite good. Like to me, there's a few characters where I'm just like, yeah, the movie might have been good, but like when Jar Jar Binks came in, I was just like, I can't. His character annoyed me. The movie was good, but the character, I'm just like, I can't get over it. I can't be the best just because he's in it.
I was so excited for the Phantom Menace when it came out. I'll never forget going with my little nerdy buddies. We came out and it was like the greatest letdown of our adult lives to that point. We were like, well, that was just awful. Like I couldn't believe
Phantom of the Menace wasn't that good?
Not really. Like it was cool to see all the graphics and stuff.
Yeah.
But the actual storyline, like Star Wars folks were not thrilled. And that's the introduction of Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. Well, that was the one it was called. I thought Phantom, but wasn't there like 3 Phantom Menace?
Well, Phantom Menace, as I understand it, was the first one of the 9.
Okay, yeah.
Episode 1, the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, that's the guy with the red face, right?
Yep.
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
Two-sided.
That was
lightsaber.
cool. There was cool moments.
The pod racing was cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two-sided lightsaber was pretty good.
I was in love with Natalie Portman. That was an interesting storyline for me as a youth.
Oh, we got a lot of texts coming in. Hey, Wanye, is it true that Sydney Sweeney is single?
Well, I have to ask Declan. But yes, she is single.
Mm-hmm.
She was engaged and now she's single. That's a huge change of events.
Yeah, that's I'm sure any engagement that breaks off is hard. I would guess it might be a tad tougher when you're in the public eye and everybody talks about it.
And if you're the random dude that just broke it off with Sydney Sweeney, you've messed up, my friend.
She's already at a wedding with someone else.
She called
though.
it off.
Did she?
Well, she went to that wedding of, was it Glenn Howell? Is that his name?
Okay, go on.
This was what the Duke was telling me. So she might have already moved on.
Well, I would assume she's Sydney Sweeney. She has options. That's why I told that to Declan last week. He had like a 4-hour window. To
Well,
shoot
no,
his shot.
they attended his sister's wedding, right?
Yeah.
But they starred in a movie together. So you know what? You know what? This is where Struds is yelling in his car. This is his moment. Right? He's been waiting. Because remember when he thought Gaga and Cooper were a for sure. He felt like, oh yeah, he was like, no, they're gonna be together. And we're like, no, they're not. They're never getting together.
What are you talking about,
so
Struds?
He was adamant that they were getting together. So now that you have allegedly, right, that Powell and of course Sweeney were in there, and I don't even know the name of that movie. It was because I walked right by it all the time. Constantly, we go to the food court. It's like some romantic thing. It's like I don't know if it's like this year's version of The Notebook.
Anyone but you.
Anyone but you, sure. And But so she went with him to his sister's wedding. Like you don't just take a random friend to your sister's wedding, right? Like you don't.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's I could see that one at least. Like if you're out at a wedding together, like let's be honest, would you ever just take a friend of the opposite sex as your plus one to a wedding?
If Sydney Sweeney was coming, I would fake my own wedding. Just to see her.
No, but listen, would you take a girl to a wedding as your plus one, but you're just friends?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially your sister's wedding.
Yeah, like you're not doing it unless there's something more here. You're not like there's anybody out there done it. Like that would be an odd move, would it not? Like you go to a wedding, you're single, you're like, hey, I want everybody to know I'm single. Right? Because hey, love's in the air. Everybody knows the jokes about some people that the single people like, oh my God. Geez, I've been listening to these. This is what I need. This is what I want. You can get clouded judgment for a while, right? It happens. So, so I don't know if you're just taking a friend because then you got to explain to everyone. Oh, no, we're just friends. But you brought it to a wedding, so I don't think you'd ever do it.
But it's Sydney Sweeney. Like,
I went to one as a friend.
Was it with Sydney?
It was an Italian wedding. It was awesome.
You were a plus one?
Plus one, yeah. Got invited the week before.
Did she have a crush on you?
No, definitely not. But I think I was just ready and available. So,
but why did she feel the need? Like maybe that's a girl thing. Like she felt she couldn't show up single. Like
had a plus one. I think broke up with her boyfriend.
Oh,
didn't want to waste the plate. Right? It was late.
Jeez. Waste the plate. Was it free booze?
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, see, exactly. So you say, well, I didn't want to waste the plate. Excuse me, you're bringing someone we didn't even know to our wedding. Now they're going to get buckled. And young Connor was just out there double fisting.
Walking in, we had to take a shot. Walking in, it was unbelievable. Great, like Italian. It was amazing.
300 people, wasn't it?
It was massive. Yeah, nobody knew who I was. We were at like the table with the randoms.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, she's like, oh, I didn't want to waste it. Like, trust me, the bride don't even know you're here. So
true.
Yeah. So
good times though.
Yeah. So you didn't do it though.
No,
you were the plus one, which you're probably like, whatever. Right. And were you interested in her? Were you like, okay, I'm going to swoop in? Or were you like, no, we're just friends?
It was pretty evident she wasn't interested. So,
but no, you didn't answer my question. Were you interested
as a single? Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I was a single guy.
So,
why are you inviting me to a wedding here as a plus one, but you're evidently not interested? Like,
yeah, like
mixed signals.
It's like he just brought you in as eye candy. You're just used as eye candy.
Just a good time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There you go. So no, we'll see. We'll follow Clark, but we'll see. Let's get to Sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. And Truck Month is on now at GMC. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. See more details, gmccanada.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Light night on the ice at the NHL level. Just 3 games. Red Wings up against the Kings. Got the Blackhawks in Washington and the Islanders taking on the Wild. The Oilers in action tomorrow taking on the Kings. Puck drop 2 o'clock. Pre-game coverage gets going at 1 here on Sports 1440. In the association, the Raptors about 30 minutes away from tip-off as they host the Detroit Pistons at Scotiabank Arena. You also have the Kings, Hornets, Jazz, and the Pacers. Suns in Boston. Warriors host the Nuggets, Pelicans, and Lakers, and the Cavs head to San Antonio. In the majors today, Jays falling to the Mets 5-0. Also, the Cubs are the Pirates 3-1. Cards losing to the Red Sox 13-9, and the Tigers over the White Sox 7-4. Right now, Athletics and Rockies tied at 3 apiece in the bottom of the 10th. In the 8th, the Yankees lead the Pirates 4-1, and the Mariners have an 8-7 lead over the Giants in the bottom of the 6th. WHL tonight, the Oil Kings are in action, taking on the PA Raiders. Once again, it's game number 5, with the Oil Kings leading 3-1. That gets going at 7 o'clock. In the BCHL, you've got playoff action. Sherwood Park and Salmon Arm taking on the Silverbacks at 8. And then in the AJ, you've got the division finals. Whitecourt hosting Grand Prairie and Drumheller in Calgary. Both teams get going at 7. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Lowetide from the Lowdown Flowtide. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertips. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins, multiply your prizes up to 6 times, and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the Fortune Coin symbol to win cash, trigger the jackpot, launch the free spins bonus, and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on playalberta.ca. Claim your offer today.
Spring, where everything is coming up roses, except for GS Construction. We're heading underground, and we couldn't be happier. Spring is always a busy time of year for everyone trying to get out there and do some work. Well, GS Construction agrees, and we also agree that we just might need some help. So if you're looking to work and join a group where safety, teamwork, and continuous improvement have been at our core since 1974, send us a resume. Come work with us this spring. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Oodle noodle origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Edmonton's premium live music and party venue is On the Rocks. Check out Bingo Tunes on Monday. Perform on the best stage in town with karaoke on Wednesdays. Learn how to salsa with Salsa Rocks on Thursdays. And every weekend, OTR goes live.
With your favorite bands on the OTR stage and DJ Kenny K.
For everything that's going on at On the Rocks, give us a follow.
Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
At On the Rocks, EDM.
Eat well, party hard.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Open every day till 2 a.m.
At Cross Mitsubishi, you can rest easy that you're getting quality Japanese vehicles, not tariffs. Purchase a 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV at 0% for up to 84 months with no payments for 90 days, or get $14,500 off when you lease. Add in a $1,000 Conquest rebate and another $1,000 loyalty rebate. You can lease from $38,478 or as low as $139 a week with zero down. See Cross Mitsubishi in store for details. 9605 34th Avenue and at crossmitsubishi.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. A little extra brass bonanza for you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Hope you are having an awesome Friday. Big plans for the weekend. The Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. And hey, you know what? They got the new revamped app. It's looking awesome. You got the Lotto Max jackpot tonight. You can feel lucky. It's the Matt Savoy, $22 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. And while you're there, use the new promo code Gregor 100. You'll get a free $100 casino bonus when you make a deposit. Now, the Oilers, of course, are in LA getting set to take on the Kings. Remember, it's a 2:00 start tomorrow afternoon, Edmonton time. Take on the Kings. They won't have Leon Draisaitl. They won't have Connor McDavid. You won't have Matthias Ekholm. You won't have Stuart Skinner, but you might have Trent Frederick. Skated today, and there's a chance he could play tomorrow. Now, let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. Whether it's just getting you running water, get your laundry done at home, or all the road work, all the underground stuff before it gets done, they do at GS Construction. Mark Spector joins us from LA. And Spec, you had a conversation with Leon Draisaitl today to kind of, and I saw your tweet, retweeted it, that he basically said, hey, the injury occurred when he fell on that hit/trip from Barclay Goodrow. He played it for a little bit. What's interesting was he said in the game, I think his interview was like, no, I'm fine. But obviously it just kept getting better, right? Because sometimes you're fine, but then all of a sudden you stiffen up or what have you. So I don't know, the way he fell, like it could be multiple things. Could be a bruised tailbone. Who knows? Because it was an awkward fall.
Yeah, he, or maybe he lied to me and he just didn't want to admit to getting injured while stepping on a puck.
Yeah, he didn't fall very awkwardly, right? That was very weird, though, for sure.
I'm just kidding. He wouldn't lie to me on that. But he said, no, that's when it happened. So that was just, the way things work in our world now, you're not allowed to go to a guy and say, hey, what's your injury? Because they don't tell you. But I did say, well, how did you get hurt? Was it the puck? Was it he said it wasn't the puck. I didn't get hurt stepping on a puck. So that's the deal. He's not going to play. The coach didn't sound very worried about it. So that's good news. It isn't a recurrence of the injury that kept him out of games before. I think that's good news.
Yeah.
Right. If you have an injury that keeps coming back, that's always bad news.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, all in all, other than not having Leon Draisaitl playing for your team in the nearest future, probably good news for Oilers fans on the Draisaitl front today.
Yeah, bad news timing-wise because they take on LA tomorrow. It's a huge game. You don't have McDavid. You don't have Draisaitl. And now the Oilers are 8-4 this year without McDavid, which is pretty good. And, really good. Draisaitl's been great, though, in the 9 games because 3 of those games they didn't have McDavid or Draisaitl. Now they're 1-2 in those games. One of them was that second half back-to-back where they got shellacked. Ekholm didn't play either in Seattle. So it will be a tough game tomorrow. There's no debating that. But Trent Frederick, what's your expectations for him to play tomorrow?
I think he's going to play.
Okay.
I think he's going to play. The coach is careful and the medical team, I know, like I asked Knobloch after the game last night, I said, if Draisaitl's not playing in LA, can you push Frederick up? He was supposed to play in Anaheim. He said, no, medical people say we can't do that. And then today, Frederick told me today, he said, every time I see the coach, I tell him how great I feel. And every practice I go out there and skate my rear end off so they know I'm ready to go. He wants to play. I think there was considerable lobbying from the player here, get me into this thing. So, the player wants to play, the coach wants to play. It's the doctors that have to get convinced here. But I've watched him skate here through this trip, and he looks like he can play hockey. I think he'll play tomorrow. He skated today on a line with Henrique and Hyman. So that's a line that, if you're skating on that line, you're probably playing tomorrow. Is that fair?
You would think so, right? Like a lot of things would point to that. So it would make.
What I liked about it, he said, yeah, I think tomorrow should be a great game. He says, I think it might be one of those ice bag games. He says, that's the kind of game I like playing in. So I like that. I haven't heard an Oilers say that for a while.
Well, hey, I will say this. I know Oilers fans have kind of been patiently waiting for Trent Frederick. I think they're those who have concerns about it. Trent Frederick's going to check off a lot of the boxes spec, but, and another guy who's, now he's got 5 goals in 9 games. Victor Arvidsson here is starting to play like the player that everybody hoped he'd be when they signed him. And obviously it took way too long, but he's starting to find his game. And Jeff Skinner's playing better. And Mark, and go down the list of guys who are playing better than they have much of the year. Then you get a Frederick guy who's obviously going to be highly motivated to make a good impression on his new team and just plays a style and brings something that they just don't have a lot of.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to like here. Calvin Pickett's holding this team together. He gives up 2 a night. 2 a night's enough, man. You give up 2 a night, that's the definition of giving your team a chance to win. Their defensively, they're not giving up a lot of shots and chances, despite the fact that Ekholm's not playing. So that's a good sign. Their power play's got goals in 2 straight games without, with only, missing McDavid and Draisaitl for part of it. So their PK's been pretty good here. They're starting to show you a bunch of different elements. All year long, Jason, all year long, like I've been sort of looking at them through the lens of last year's team. And there was that 30-game stretch or whatever it was where they looked a lot like last year's team down the stretch, right? They were one of the best teams in the league. They were doing everything. They were killing penalties. And then they fell away from that. And I was watching them, in that trip after the 4 Nations, they didn't look anything like the hockey team we watched at the end of last season. And now we're starting to see again. We're seeing depth guys. Connor Brown's game has really come along. He's playing really well with the puck and without it. So they're starting to look like a good team here. And they got like 4 or 5 guys to add to this lineup.
Well, hey, potentially 6 if you think of Evander Kane, right? Kane, Frederick, McDavid, Draisaitl, Ekholm, and Skinner. Like that's a pretty big change to your lineup when all said and done. The LA Kings have been great. I think they got a lot of confidence playing at home, so it's definitely going to be an obvious tough game. Last night I thought Edmonton played well enough to win. It wasn't a great game, but at this point you just want to win. They didn't give their only negative spec, and it's kind of a running joke here on the show, is their inability to score into an empty net. Like, it's mind-blowing to me how people hit a goalpost. And like, I know people, it's laughable because it hasn't cost them, but it almost cost them because Pickard had to make an unreal save after Skinner missed. And you wouldn't have seen it in the ring, but they showed a headshot of Skinner on the bench, and he was just sitting there, and you could just see him, like, trust me, he's fuming. Like the guys know that you got to bury those chances.
Okay, so guys do stupid things, right? Like, it happens in life. Even when you're a great hockey player, you miss the net. So I've only traveled for 35 years in the business. And I get off the plane at LAX. I take that stupid budget bus to go to the rental car place that's packed. It's got to stop 14 times to shoehorn more and more and more people in. So like 40 minutes later, you get to this giant rental car place. I got to stand in line. I don't have one of those passes where you wheel up and grab your car. Hour-long lineup, Jay. Hour-long lineup. I get to the front. I give the lady, I'm missing practice almost. It's like nip and tuck here, right? I give the lady my credit card, my driver's license. And I go, man, am I in a hurry? This lineup was so long. She goes, oh, Mr. Spector, we'll take care of you quick care. She puts my license into this thing. She says, your license is expired. I can't rent you a car. I'm at you think you get who gets an Uber at a rental car place? Only a total loser. The Uber guy says, I never picked anyone up here before.
Oh my God, that is, as my son would say, what a dustpan. Oh, that is a classic. Oh,
I couldn't even look at the woman and like be mad. Because I'm the idiot whose fault it is.
There's nothing. I thought this is going to be, she's going to tell you you're on a car. Jerry Seinfeld's like, no, I don't think you understand how it works. You take the reservation. That means I have a car. Oh, still one.
No. Oh. I didn't. My license expired like whenever.
How long ago?
On my birthday. Which
was that's like many months ago.
Well, November.
Oh, yeah. Oh, classic.
So, I'm not going to get on Jeff Skinner for missing an empty net anytime too soon.
Yeah, no, that is fair. No, I'm not even on him, but it is stunning though, Spec, how a team with this much offense can continually miss empty net shots. Like, it is mind-blowing.
And you're right. Like, I think there was like $1.50 left when he missed that net.
Yes.
And in the last $1.50, San Jose had a couple chances. Pickard did have to make one big save, and they were in the zone the whole time. Like, that could have been a point off the standings for you by missing an empty net from the blue line in. I don't know. The only guy worse than that than Skinner is probably Draisaitl. Like, he's got 52. He could have 60 if he could hit an empty net this year. Anyway, who knows? Don't ask me why, but it's crazy.
Yeah, no, it is. It's very strange. It is very, very strange. The Kings, they're a really good home team, and we'll see tomorrow kind of, and tomorrow's not going to be an indication of how the Oilers and the Kings match up because Edmonton's missing so many guys in their team. But, Adam Henrique has stepped up when he got elevated. Nugent Hopkins has stepped up when he's been elevated. Hyman's got 6 goals and 3 points in 12 games without McDavid. So does Nugent Hopkins. Like, Edmonton still has some skill here. And I don't know what your sense was talking to the guys, just how about, like, I know everybody thinks we're not going to win. Like, is it a little bit of us against the world in that game tomorrow?
Well, what I will say is they are getting pretty confident and good at playing without their guys. Like, the first couple games without McDavid and Draisaitl, everyone's a little freaked out and, who's playing where and how are we going to run a power play? Their zone entries for a while there in the power play were awful. They kind of got that figured out now, how to enter the zone without McDavid doing it. I would say to you, Jay, that they're confident. Like, there's a pretty confident group. They don't, they're kind of that group that wants to. They're not saying it, but what they're telling each other is we can win games without these guys. Like, they want them back. No one's saying they're a better team without McDavid and Draisaitl. No one's saying that. But I think they're quietly, they walk into Vegas. I know Draisaitl played in the game, but they walk into Vegas without all those guys, and they beat Vegas. And that really injected a bunch of confidence in these guys. And they didn't play very great, great in San Jose, but the game was never really in doubt. Every time San Jose scored, they'd score again, Edmonton. So they think they're going to win tomorrow. Like, of course they do. The Kings probably have another look at this thing and they have a different opinion, but this is a pretty confident Oilers team, man. I think they don't mind the way they're playing one bit.
No, they're playing pretty well. So it'll be good. Spec, enjoy Ubering all over the over Los Angeles here, Spec. And I should say you might want to turn on your television, Spec, because Alexander Ovechkin in the first 4 minutes of the game just scored. They're playing the Chicago Blackhawks. They're on home ice. Ovi now needs 2 more goals to break the record. He scored his 40th of the season. Like, it is record watch tonight at home against the lowly Chicago Blackhawks. I said it earlier today that this was nothing will surprise me if he scores a hat trick tonight.
Wow. And his whole, the beauty there is they got first place wrapped up, and every guy, it's, how Pod Colson, when he gets the puck, all he does is look around for Draisaitl. Well, there's going to be 17 skaters looking for Ovechkin every time they get the puck in Washington. He's going to get a ton of looks tonight. So I got to go find a sports bar. I'm in the States. It's not like you just get the Washington-Chicago game in your room in this country, my friend.
Oh, yeah. No. Hey, buddy, we'll get down there. Just get an Uber.
Yeah, get an Uber. Well, I sure ain't renting a car. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's true, Spec. Good luck getting a driver's license, too, when you get back. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'll work on that. Thanks, Jake.
Mark Spector, not knowing the rules on your driver's license here today on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Take a quick break. We'll return. Lowetide joins us next.
Fountain Tire, our focus is taking care of your vehicle. Your focus? Saving up to 25% off select tires. Plus, getting up to a $120 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 select tires until April 26th. So we both win. Fountain Tire, we're on this road together.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what?
Dang.
They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The Alzheimer's Face-Off presented by Christensen Communities Limited hits the ice April 25th to 27th, pairing hockey fans with some of their favorite players from the NHL Alumni Association for a fun-filled weekend in support of the Alzheimer's Society of Alberta and Northwest Territories. Friday features a Champions Luncheon followed by the teams hitting the ice on Saturday and Sunday in a friendly hockey tournament at Terwilliger Rec Center. To purchase a table to the Champions Luncheon or to learn more about how you can get involved in the tournament, visit alzheimersfaceoff.ca for more info.
Did you know the Brick is proudly Canadian owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta, DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Use promo code Gregor and get 20% off your order all day, every day. That's promo code Gregor before entering your order at papajohns.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, man. Imagine being in the building in Washington tonight. Like, you're just on the edge of your seat now with anticipation. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. As Ovi scores his 40th of the season, that's his 14th year with at least 40 goals, which, of course, extends his record. He had the record of 13. Gretzky did it 12 times. You had Lemieux did it 10, as did Marcel Dion. The only other active player next closest is Stamkos with 7. Draisaitl and Matthews each have 6. So, man, Ovi it's unreal.
Was it Smitty, his last game, they were trying to get him the goal?
Well, he was on the ice for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
basically, had a 5-minute shift just to kind of take it all into his last game of his career, which is great. So
wait till Ovi takes a 15-minute last shift trying to get this Hattie.
Well, he doesn't have, because it's not the last game of the year, but it's first of all, it's Chicago. They're brutal. And you're at home. they trotted out some of like Braden Holtby. The crowd's going nuts. They brought out a lot of the former Caps from, I think if they're celebrating their cup winning team, maybe. I'm not sure what it was, but they had a lot of the guys out there from that team. So don't tell, and you're fired up, man. Like his adrenaline's you can feel it. Like you saw even the reaction of his teammates. Like it's a 1-0 goal in the game and they're going bananas. So that's his 893rd career goal. One more to tie Gretzky, 2 to break it.
Did you ever think you'd see Gretzky's goal record fall?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
It was like, I want to say 5 years ago, I was looking at the numbers and being like, well, if he did this and he did this, it's like, it's possible. Right. But then COVID hit and you're like, oh, geez. But COVID didn't really cut out that many games when you think about it for him. Right. Like 56, what was it? 20, cost him like 37 games, kind of half of a year, but not crazy. And that's when I thought maybe there was a chance. But many years ago, he's like, no one's breaking that record. Like, come on.
He lost games to the strike, right? In Ovi's career.
Well, Gretzky played 48 one year and he played 48 one year. So that evens out.
Okay.
And then there was the 37 because Ovi has been on record in the 04-05 season. He wasn't coming over. Right. He wasn't coming over that year. So that full season didn't cost him anything. So it's really kind of had the 37 games. But if you look at it, him and Gretzky are on like this. It's almost identical games played to get to this mark. Like it's pretty impressive. There's no question about it. And you know what? I understand some people don't want him to break the record, and that's okay. But it's pretty special what he's doing. I don't think anybody can debate that.
If he scores 3 tonight, he does it in less games than Gretzky, correct?
Well, not in career games, yes.
Yes.
But not games to get, because Gretzky scored it in his 1479th game.
Yeah.
But then he didn't score in his last 8 games, which he still played in, but technically to reach 890. But if he scores one more, Gretzky never reached then. So yes, he would. To tie the record, it'll be in fewer games, but to break it, it would be in less games, if that makes any sense.
I almost got into a fight with Tyler Yaremchuk about this topic, whether or not those 7 games should be removed from Gretzky's numbers because he didn't score. No.
Well, these games
they're career games.
He had assists in those games. He gets points. He just didn't have a goal, of course. So it's pretty impressive. So there we go. Let's talk a little hockey now. Maybe some football more. Al Mitchell, host of the Lowdown, joins us, probably watching the game because Al, I know you love history of the game, and to see this is pretty unique.
It is. I've been thinking today. I mean, I loved your conversation because it kind of dovetailed with what I was thinking today. This is just a completely selfish fan point of view, but I always hoped Jaromir Jagr would break it, and he's the guy who went over to the KHL for money in 08-09, and he spent 3.5 years over there. And I'm not saying he would have broken the record, but it would have been nice for him to try to break it, and actually be in the NHL all those years. Didn't happen. That's fine. But I never thought the record would be broken. And there was a time when I was like, no way, I don't want Ovi to break it. But now that he's here, I like to witness history, and this is it, man.
You got to respect Alexander Ovechkin, like wire to wire as a Capital. Like he's really had an amazing career.
He has, and he's been, somebody said it just the other day, but I yell at my television. I'm like, why doesn't anybody cover this guy? And then one of the coaches says, we try covering him, and he still scores. And, he's had, one thing about Ovechkin is that I've respected is, he's had some down years. He's had some years where, man, it didn't look like he'd ever get there. And this is a lifetime, a hockey lifetime, where he's, they won the Stanley Cup, and that was a big goal. And now he's going to break the record, and I mean, he'll live in infamy. This is the unbreakable record, in my opinion. Now, the points will never get broken. I'm convinced of that. They'd have to, start giving out 2 points for assists or something. But this one, I never thought we'd get there. And this is a big deal. It's a big moment in hockey history, and I'm glad that everybody can enjoy it and really value it in real time. We're anticipating it, which is, if you like Winnie the Pooh, there's a big story about anticipation, and this is what we're experiencing.
Yeah, and anytime there's a record chase, a record like this is a career-long one. To me, it's pretty special to watch, and I think you'll see marks. No one's going to pay. Well, I guess I shouldn't say. Well, I'd be stunned if anybody is ever going to get to Gretzky's record of points. I just think that is so far above everybody else. Like I did the math on Connor McDavid and how many more years he'd have to play Like McDavid needs 10 more years of 100 points each year just to get to 2,000. And then he would still need another 2,800. Like, it's mind blowing. Another 800, excuse me. So it's crazy. Now I do think McDavid, healthy, age-wise, everything else, I think McDavid could get to 2,200 points. I really think that's doable, honestly. But but him even getting to 2,000 will be a pretty big milestone, because it'll be only the second player ever to do it.
Yeah, and we have to factor in, the goaltending's better now. The eras are less high scoring. It's like you'll never see a 300 game winner in baseball ever again. It's a different style. But I think McDavid, within the context of his own era, if he can stay relatively healthy, he's going to post some tremendous numbers. But Ovi, for me, this is the we'll see. I mean, they could change the rules all of a sudden and start calling penalties when they should, and then goals will go in more often. But the way the game is called today, I mean, we will have 500 and 600, but I don't think we'll have, I don't think we'll have anybody over 800 again, and maybe even not over 700.
Well, actually, I looked at Draisaitl. 700 is very doable for him, right? Like, because he's basically at 400. He's at 399. So let's say he scores one more goal this year. So then he has an 8-year contract that'll kick in. He's probably going to play 10 years. He would need 300 goals in 10 years, average of 30 over 10-year span. I think Draisaitl will get to 700. And I think Draisaitl is actually going to become, he's got a very good chance to become only the 5th player in NHL history with 700 goals and 1,000 assists.
That would be amazing. He really is. Like, we keep, it's so much fun. Like, I've lived a life where I've seen, Gretzky, Messier, Curry, Coffey, Fuhrer, Moog, Anderson. I'm going to forget somebody. And then I hung around long enough to watch McDavid and Draisaitl. And, like being an Edmonton hockey fan, being an Oilers fan in Edmonton, if you are somebody of my age, man, you can never bitch about the great players who've come down the pipe here.
Oh, yeah. Oiler fans and Penguins fans. There's no fan base that has seen more like greats of the greats. Even the Montreal Canadiens, when you consider, like, I know they had Lafleur, and Lafleur is great, but he's not in the category of Gretzky. He's not in the category of McDavid, right? He's just not. And, like, they had some unreal defensemen and goalies, but no. There's Pittsburgh and Edmonton. When you think of Lemieux and Crosby and Jagger, Malkin's pretty special player. Draisaitl, McDavid, Gretzky, Messier, Coffey. Like, it's ridiculous. That pretty lucky in Edmonton, no question. Now, you won't see most of those guys tomorrow, Al. No Draisaitl, although I talked to Speck and sounds like it's going to be short term, but he injured himself when he fell and collided, tripped, whatever word we want to use, with Goudreau. But so that's good news long term. It sounds like, though, Al, Trent Frederick, a guy you watch a lot as a Bruins fan, will make his debut tomorrow. And his line to Mark Spector was, tomorrow looks like one of those lots of ice bag games. I like those games.
Awesome. Well, I really like him as a player. I've watched him a lot in Boston, and I think Oiler fans will really like him. Boston traditionally and the Oilers have similar styles that they deploy, and fans love that kind of player. He's very aggressive. He's not a shy violet. He can skate well. He's a bigger man. He does have some skill, and I think that I'm hoping we see him really good, and I hope he signs. Like, they invested in him, and I don't know that he will. There are rumors he was going either to St. Louis or Boston. I can't remember which, but I would love to see him hang around, because he's got a style that Oiler fans will really enjoy, and I think that I hope he shows it tomorrow. But I believe if he gets in some games here in the regular season and in the playoffs, he'll definitely show people what he's about, and it's a pretty darn good hockey player.
Oh yeah, Al, Victor Arvidsson, 5 goals in 9 games, starting to be the player maybe they hoped they were getting when they signed him.
Well, and the one of the things that I've learned in life is when early in the season, when people were like, Jeff Jackson this, Jeff Jackson that, oh, what a terrible move, all these signings. And I get it. I understand the disappointment, but you have to let this play out. And oftentimes, sometimes it's even in year 2 of a free agent signing where the player really unlocks and becomes the player that you expected him to be. So it's taken a year. Basically it's been, kind of like Connor Brown a year ago. But you can still, like, Arvidsson is doing the Arvidsson things. And, he's a fun player, but he's also really effective. And they need him to be the player he is right now. And they need him to be that in the next, 6 to 8 weeks. So it took a while, and I get that. And I understand the frustration. But this is a player who can really help them based on the way he's played recently. And I think that is the player he is.
Yeah. He's playing better, Skinner, there's lots of guys. There's not many guys playing worse, to be honest. Well, I think Max Jones, he had his first few games that was good, and we haven't really noticed him since. And just, he had a little tenacity to his game earlier, Alan. For a guy who, to me, read the tea leaves, I would have done a little bit more physically if I was him. Like, get in scrums, do something to just try to get noticed more, because it's such an easy take him out of the lineup when guys come back in.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that totally. And I think that I really like Wallman, but his game has faded a little bit. I think the adrenaline stops. But if you're Jones, you have to, recognize and realize why they got you. They got you to make a difference, to hit somebody just a little too hard. Don't take a penalty, but let them know you're there, and maybe get the crowd going, or your own team going. There's a sportsmanship, gamesmanship about hockey, and Jones has a role. If he plays that role, that I'm not going to say he's going to get like a bunch of playoff games, but he might get in depending upon who's injured. But you have to do the role you are supposed to play. You have to deliver on, and he's been a little bit quiet, I would say, recently.
Al, enjoy the games this weekend. We will chat with you on Monday.
All right, be good, boys. Have a good one.
There you go. That's Al Mitchell, aka Lowetide. When we come back, we'll get to Wanye's World on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertip. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins, multiply your prizes up to 6 times, and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the Fortune Coin symbol to win cash, trigger the jackpot, launch the free spins bonus, and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on playalberta.ca. Claim your offer today.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next adventure. Yamaha's legendary performance and reliability take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail. RideRiverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
From coast to coast, Napa Auto Parts is here to keep your car running longer and stronger, Canada. Did you know that Napa Auto Parts has close to 600 stores throughout Canada and over 90 years of history? Napa offers a wide range of quality replacement auto parts, accessories, supplies, tools, equipment, and proudly keeps Canadians moving day in, day out. With over 85 locations in Alberta, stop into your local Napa store today or visit online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
At Cross Mitsubishi, you can rest easy that you're getting quality Japanese vehicles, not tariffs. Purchase a 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander at 0% for 84 months with no payments for 90 days, or get $9,700 off when you lease. Add in a $1,000 Conquest rebate and another $1,000 loyalty rebate. You can lease from $31,748 or as low as $119 a week with zero down. See Cross Mitsubishi in store for details. 9605 34th Avenue and at crossmitsubishi.ca.
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta, DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Bashaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank, plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Bashaw Concrete Products, 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Edmonton Oilers. Make sure you've got your spot inside Rogers Place for this year's Stanley Cup playoffs by becoming an Oilers full or half season seat holder for the 2025-26 season. Head to edmontonoilers.com/season seats and don't miss the great seat sales going on now.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's funny. Everybody's like, oh, everybody's tweeting out Gretzky's at the game. I'm like, well, no bleep, Sherlock. Of course he's at the game. They've been talking about this for a long time. Like, he's going to follow it around. Gordie Howe was there when he broke his record. Gretzky's talked about it, all the time. That's why anybody who's upset with Ovechkin breaking the record, the guy whose record's getting broken isn't upset. I don't understand how anybody else could be upset. That's the way I look at it.
I think Gretzky's always been super classy, but when his records fall or they're in peril of falling, of cheering for the next generation of NHL players.
Oh yeah, well why wouldn't he? Like, I'm guessing if you're Wayne Gretzky, you're pretty comfortable in what you achieved as a player. You've got some younger generations who try to break down Gretzky. Like, I just kind of chuckle at them. I'm like, your ignorance is showing. Stop it. Just stop it. And it ends there. Like, it's not even worth debating or discussing because you can't argue with stupid because they'll beat you with experience.
Did LeBron just beat Kareem for all-time points, or was it Lakers points?
No, all-time.
All-time.
No.
Wasn't Kareem kind of salty at him, like down the stretch? Like he wasn't.
I don't remember that.
He wasn't like super like Gretzky, like very like accommodating.
No, I don't know if I've ever. I can't say yes or no, but I don't recall reading or seeing anything that says he wasn't. So. But he's quite a bit ahead right now. There's 3 points in the game now, and they play way more games and everything like that. So I get it all. But still, hey, you break any record, the game evolves and changes, and it's fantastic what Ovechkin's going to do. Like, the great part to me is there's going to be a 900 goal scorer in the NHL. Might not be this year, but there's going to be a 900 goal scorer in the NHL.
If Ovi breaks the record, is this his last year in the NHL?
No, I don't see it.
No?
Why? I
Moscow Spartak doesn't offer him $100 million 1-year deal?
No. Well, first of all, he's under contract for he's got another season next year, right? So would he retire next year? Maybe. Like, he's made a lot of money, but if he still loves the game, and Ovi's always loved the game, like, why wouldn't he? Like, I could see Ovi saying, you know what? Now, I think for him, he's probably on a year-to-year basis at this point. How does he play at the end of next season? Like, how does he feel? Is he playing great? Well, then he probably wants to come back.
You don't think he wants to do a tour of duty in KHL to wrap it up?
I don't know Ovi well enough to make a comment on that, to be honest, but I don't know. I guess maybe, but like, what would that benefit him at this stage of his career?
Setting up Russian hockey and going and playing in all the different markets and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So potentially, I don't know. I couldn't say, like, it would, hey, Yager's playing still at 50, so I can't rule it out, right? He could obviously play over there. There's no question. But does he want to? Maybe. And there'd probably be something like, if you haven't played in your home country, and I think we just probably as Canadians forget that. Like, there's lots of guys just playing in your home country, never mind your home city, just your home country. It's different. Like, it's a very different culture over there, obviously. Now, I don't think life in Russia is nearly as exciting as you might think for a lot of other people, right? So I don't know if he'll do it or not.
He's such a national hero, though, there, right? Like, I don't know, it'd be an interesting experience on his end to go around to the different cities of the KHL.
Yeah, I don't think if the war's still ongoing, it's probably not going to.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Right. So, hey, boys, do you think that the Caps are a cup threat? I don't know. Is it Friday? Yes, I do. Come on. They got the most points in the NHL. How are they not a cup threat? Like, they don't have a glaring weakness on that team at all. So, no, I think they're pretty good. Let's get to Wanye's World, brought to you by Action Electrical. Take action on your savings. If you've been thinking about it, don't think any longer. React at actionelectrical.net and get some solar.
When you look at the records that are falling in this sporting era, with the exception of Gretzky's points record, Gregor, what records do you think will fall in the next 10 or 15 years?
Well, I think like the career ones, better chance. I think the harder ones to break are like the single season ones, like 50 goals in 39 games. Like, Draisaitl is the only player who's going to score 50 goals in the NHL all year. So to get 50 and 39, I think is that's a tough record to break. Like Glenn, well, the one record that's never breaking as much as the Gretzky points record, but I will guarantee you if there was one record you could have me bet on that will never be broken, it's Glenn Hall's consecutive starts of 500 and was it 502, 504? 100%. Goalie, like no goalie plays over 65 games, right? In 1 year, never mind 500 consecutive games. Like that one, lock it. I would be more comfortable in that record than I would be Gretzky's point record. And I don't think anyone's breaking Gretzky's point record, but I would go with Glenn Hall's consecutive games record for a goalie.
Do you think that defensive records will fall? Like the highest scoring points by a defenseman's how many?
Gordy, Bobby, or 130. No one's getting that. Like Cale Makar's having an unreal season. Now, could Cale Makar do something like, could he tie Bobby Orr for the most 30 goal seasons? Yeah, but is that a record that's like, I don't know how it's not established, how glorified that record is. Like it would be impressive, but it's not necessarily the same, right? So, but Cale Makar, I'd be surprised if we see him getting 140 points, 135 plus points. I'd love to see it, but I think it'd be difficult. Career points by defenseman. Now that maybe he could give a pretty good run at. Still going to be hard because Ray Bourque has over 1,500. But and so now that I think about it, no, that probably won't happen either. Like you would need Makar's got what 400 points now. Like that's a lot of points for a defenseman to make. So yeah, I don't think so.
What about goaltending records?
Well, wins have a chance because goalies get wins for shutouts, right? And so still very, very hard. But because the shootouts, it's a tie game, but now and you get a win. It's funny because the goalie gets the stat for it, but no player ever gets a stat for a shootout goal. Right? It's only the goalie gets it in the win category. So it does help them individually. But yeah, Bourque and Coffey have 1,500 career points. Could I see Cale Makar end up third? Yeah, I think he could end up more than Al McInnes at 1,274, but to get to 1,500 will be pretty hard. So there'll probably be some. There's got to be some other, like, in baseball, could somebody have a 1 year wonder to break Barry Bonds? I think it's possible.
Could Ohtani take a run at it?
I was thinking Judge maybe more.
Oh, yeah.
But he's probably got to do it the next few years, right? Pitching seems to be on the rise again in baseball. There's so many more guys throwing 100 miles an hour now. That's the challenge for hitters in baseball. Like it's ridiculous how many guys you see. Like 100 miles an hour used to be like, oh my God. But now there's more guys doing it and not just doing it once or twice. Like you'll be in a game and the guy throws 8 pitches of 100 miles an hour. It's mind blowing that way.
I always wonder that when I watch the Summer Olympics and the Winter Olympics, like how do these records continue to fall? How fast are they going to be running the 100 meters in 100 years?
I'm not sure they'll get much quicker than Usain Bolt. That's going to be hard, man. Like that's a unique combination because he was so tall and lean, and that's a good question. But yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one. Like,
wait until you see Usain Bolt 3.
Oh, well, you never know.
He's
You're
quick.
right. Somebody could do it. And we probably never thought anybody run that fast, so it's always possible. Wanye, have yourself a great weekend. On behalf of Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. If you missed any parts of the show, go to jasongregor.com. They're there, or anywhere where you get your podcast. Please don't drink and drive. Get home safe. Here's Connor Halley, Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. LegacyHeating.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
3 games on the ice night at the NHL level. Capitals and Blackhawks tied at 1 apiece. Alexander Ovechkin with his 40th goal of the season. That puts him at 893, just 2 goals away from surpassing Wayne Gretzky for most goals in NHL history. Elsewhere, the Red Wings lead the Canes 2-0, and just getting going in New York, Islanders and Wild are scoreless. In the WHL tonight, the Edmonton Oil Kings going to wrap up their series with the PA Raiders leading 3-1. Those two teams meeting in PA. Puck drop just after 7 o'clock in the BCHL. We've got playoff action with Sherwood Park and Salmon Arm taking on the Silverbacks at 8. And then in the AJ Divisional Finals going on, Whitecourt hosting Grand Prairie, Drumheller in Calgary, both those games starting at 7. In the association, early, Raptors trailed the Pistons 16-12. In the second quarter, you got the Hornets behind the Kings 48-30, and the Jazz lead the Pacers 53-44. Later tonight, Bulls host the Blazers, Thunder in Houston, Warriors taking on the Nuggets, and the Pelicans up against the Lakers. Major League Baseball today, the Jays falling to the Mets 5-0. Teams go at it tomorrow. And Sunday, you can hear those games here on Sports 1440 radio feed only. Right now, Mariners and Giants tied at 8 apiece. The Dodgers trail the Phillies 1-0. And the Diamondbacks a 4-3 lead over the Nationals in the 5th. Later tonight, Rangers, Rays, Reds, Brewers, and the Angels hosting the Cleveland Guardians. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got Fox Sports overnight. Tomorrow morning, got the Saturday Sports set up at 9 a.m., followed by the Basketball Show with Paul Sir at 10 a.m., then at 1 p.m. pregame coverage, myself and Donovan Paulson. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the radio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Do it. Your vehicle